Hey guys, and welcome back to the TEC Gauntlet Season 1, powered by WD and AMD Ryzen Radeon. We're back here with the second half, and this time I'm going to be joined on the analyst desk with Crips and Aggressive. Crips, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling really good. Thank you so much for the warm welcome, Apple.
All right, and Aggressive, big smile once again. How are you feeling?
It's Godlike versus Tempest. Do I need to say anything? It's gonna be the judges versus the executioners, or probably the people who are gonna get executed at this point. I can't wait for this matchup.
All right, so we're on to the second half. Earlier we did have the first half, and that was Team Valor versus Simple. Team Valor did take the win for themselves. We will be able to look at their points. But right now, coming up, it's gonna be Godlike Esports going up against Tempest. Remember, this series is a best of 3, so it's gonna get heavy. The action's gonna be long, so you wanna sit back and definitely relax, cause it's gonna be a wild ride. Oh, all right. So let's have a quick look at the MVP standings before we begin, because I do believe that one of the members from the side of Godlike Esports, that is going to be Deathmaker, sitting up there at number 1. We're going to catch him in action today. Crips, you've got anything to say about him?
I think Deathmaker has been stepping up for his team again and again, and he kind of becomes the default storyline of everyone. Whenever he's playing, whenever his team is playing, this guy has the limelight on him all the time. But you know what's exciting? When he's stealing all the limelight, his teammates strike from the shadows. They are the ones working in the dark, and they are the ones who are plotting against the enemy team, setting him up for success. Those guys are also, I believe, a little deserving of their attention, little deserving of our love. Yeah.
Oh, right. And what do you think about Deathmaker here, Aggressive?
Just a couple of words. It's his world and we're living in it. Pretty much as soon as he drops out into that server, that's all that we can think about. Is Deathmaker gonna make this play happen? When is he gonna 4K? Oh no, not when is he gonna get a 4K? How many 4Ks is he gonna get in one specific map? Because that's what Deathmaker does. He gets into the server, he just starts popping head left, right, and center, and he will be the person to take peaks where I'm pretty sure that no one in the entire world will opt to go in for those type of peaks. He has that confidence, he has that aim to bring down the entire server on their knees. And at this stage, Deathmaker, he does what he does best because of his teammates. And just as Script said, we need to give his teammates some spotlight as well. Every single member of Godlike worked their hardest to enable Deathmaker to the extremes that he is as of right now.
Oh, right. We can definitely get more in depth when it comes to Godlike Esports as well as Tempest. Let's have a quick look at the group standings. Remember, we are in Group A right now. So these are the scores, the points that all teams have accumulated up to this very point. And there we can see Godlike Esports. They have won both the matches that they've previously played, and now it is going to be the third match. They might want to keep that win streak up, but hey, they are up against Tempest. Now Tempest not so lucky on the other end. They lost their first 2 matches, and it's either Tempest comes in with a completely new strategy, something has been revamped, and they gotta catch Godlike Esports off guard. So before we get into Godlike, right, let's just talk a little bit about Tempest. Aggressive, what are your thoughts on this team in particular?
Tempest, in my eyes, is a team where they have a lot of superstars in their side. We look at players like AEZ, Kubriz, Drakshot, who are just absolutely incredible when it comes down to their raw mechanical potential. They have the coordination, then they have the team play, but the factor of the matter is they're not consistent when they're trying to match all of these together to make a top tier caliber team. You need to have all of these, yes, but you need to try and mix well with your other teammates. And it feels as though Tempest are still lacking when it comes down to the terms of coordination and communication when it comes to setting up a lot of those plays. And if they're not able to bring that level of gameplay to match up against the gameplay that the side of Godlike is, of course, going to bring down to the table, they're going to be in a pretty tough spot in this entire matchup.
All right, Crips, thoughts on Tempest?
Well, I would agree with aggressive over here.
Mhm.
They are not as coordinated and not as well polished as some of the other teams over here. But I feel like if they pull this off on the attacking side, if they are not as coordinated, then even Godlike will be struggling a little bit. Because you see, at this point, the brain games start to come in. Godlike has been playing against some top tier teams, and a lot of the strategies of teams like, let's say, Samurai, let's say Global Esports, they rely on defaults where everyone splits up and they try to then approach the whole game as five individual members, and then they put together everything, right? So they're used to those kind of defaults where everyone plays away from each other. But now something similar will happen from Tempest. They will also go in as five individual members, just like every other team. But they won't be as well coordinated. So there are chances of them overthinking. There are chances of them overanalyzing situations, which might end up working for Tempest.
Mhm.
But then again, this is a very iffy situations. You don't always end up overanalyzing. Sometimes Godlike will just punish them for making those mistakes. Sometimes they might get bamboozled. So it's a big gamble. This whole game is a big gamble for Tempest.
All right, so let's head over to the player spotlight brought to you by AMD Ryzen Radeon. And I definitely gotta agree with what you said. Solely looking at the track records of Tempest as a team, and today we're gonna feature Chobes, Viper player from the side of Tempest. Aggressive thoughts on Chobes?
Hey, if I see a Viper player on the spotlight, I'm instantly thinking, hey, is this Viper a Sentinel or a controller? Because you know for a fact that I'm a huge fan when it comes down to the Viper Sentinel playstyle in comparison to the controller playstyle, because in my eyes, the controller playstyle, mainly it's the strongest when you consider the map of Icebox and of course Icebox and Breeze. But the fact is, the way Chopes plays the Viper is much more in line with something of a controller. Yes, it's very powerful. Yes, it's very potent. But at the same time, you'd expect something a little bit more different because the Viper, in my eyes, shines when she has another controller with her. And Chopes, yes, he can make everything work as a controller, but they just need that little bit of an extra push to allow Chopes to make much more of those lurky type of playstyles that we see coming out from players like Pixels, who picks up the Viper in almost every single map other than Haven, of course.
All right, thoughts on Chobes, Crips?
Mm, well, I do agree with whatever aggressive said over here. I feel like not just Jobs, I feel like every Viper player has only one weakness so far, and that is using up the utility right at the start. Of
Mm-hmm.
course, there is a certain level of commitment you require with the Viper. The Toxin Screen, the Poison Cloud, they can't be moved around as freely. And if that place, I mean, if those are set in stone, then the only thing that's remaining with you are the snake bites. And those can be crucial if you want to deny some area, if you want to deny someone from, diffusing the spike, or maybe you stop them from rushing in. If they bait those utilities out right at the start, then you basically have nothing left, maybe except for the toxin stream that you can toggle on and off again and again. So yeah, try not to, run out of it too early on. Maybe hold on to it for as long as you can, and then maybe the whole sentinel kind of playstyle will come into effect.
All right. So Tempest, there is going to be a lot for them to do, but you always got to give every team the benefit of the doubt. They could really surprise us here today, and it just could be a good day for the storm that's coming in. So let's
Mm-hmm.
head over to Godlike Esports. Let's talk a little bit about them. And Godlike Esports, they've made a name for themselves in the competitive scene here in South Asia. You see Deathmaker, Rexy, you see so many personalities. You know what they're capable of. The familiarity is there. Aggressive. What are your thoughts on Godlike Esports right up to now and so far in the competition?
Honestly, we as casters have seen the entire journey of Godlike Esports, starting from the very beginning, every single iteration of the squad as well. And in my eyes, the current roster is probably the most Chad out of every single one of them. Let's just look at this. Everyone just looks like absolute Chads in their pictures coming on down forward, and Hyvan's leading the charge from back there. And now, considering all of this and considering the talent that they have in their roster, every single one of these players can easily go down to a 1 versus 5 situation and can possibly bring a clutch for their team. They have that level of capabilities, they have that level of coordination, and they've proven themselves over and over again to be one of the top teams in our entire region. And now moving on down forward against the side of Tempest, it's just another test. Can they prove themselves? Can they bring their A game? Or will they falter, and will it be the underdogs taking the win against the side of the gods?
All right. What are your thoughts here on Godlike Esports, Crips?
I feel like Hevan is such a brilliant IGL. This guy keeps on coming up with new stuff. He tries to innovate as much as possible. Yeah, sometimes he innovates at the wrong times. He is experimentation. I don't even know if that's a word, but he is, very open to experiments. He's got an open mind and he likes trying out new stuff. It's just that he's got to pick his timing. And I feel like in a match against Tempest, he might be able to try something like that, considering that Tempest probably might not be able to punish them with all of that. Maybe he can bring out some new stuff for us to see. I'm kind of excited to see what he brings to the table.
All right, let's head over to the player spotlight brought to you by AMD Ryzen Radeon. And this time, from the side of Godlike Esports, we're going to feature Hayvan. Now, you just did let us know a few things about Hayvan, how, he's a great IGL. Now, looking at his current stats, aggressive, what are your thoughts on Hayvan?
Honestly speaking, Havon is just an absolute beast when it comes down to his IGLing skills, of course, but when it comes down to being an anchor for his team, this guy is on another level. Like, just as I said, every single one of the players from the side of Godlike can bring over a 1 versus 5 clutch in their favor. And Hyvan, he's probably at the helm of all of it. I have seen so many Shearer shots coming out from this fan that my jaw absolutely dropped. He has incredible aim, he has incredible game senses, and his IGLing skills are always on point. So I'm really looking to see if he's able to bring that same level of game plan down to here as well. Because considering Godlike, yes, their opponents are the underdogs, but they cannot leave the gas pedal for even a second. Because if they try and take this too lightly, Tempest, they could catch them off guard, and in just a snap of a finger, it's already over. And Tempest, they could just take map number 1 in their favor.
All right, so Godlike Esports going up against Tempest. It's almost like these gods, right? They've won their last 2 games. They basically almost look like they're untouchable, right? But Tempest could be that storm that kind of just stops them. So let's head over to the map screens. Have a quick look at the maps that will be lined up for the best of 3 later on. And it will be Ascent for map number 1, Haven for map number 2, and Icebox for map number 3. So Tempest, they have the tools to definitely try to find the upper hand. But like a lot of the points that you guys made is that will Tempest be able to find the right time to execute the strategy, because it's pretty hard to get past Godlike Esports. They've proven it time in and time out. So looking at the 3 maps that will be up for play, Crips, how do you think
Mhm.
this best of 3 might go? How do you think the teams are going to approach? What would their ideas be? Let us know.
I really feel like this whole game might just go to the third map. Tempest picking up Ascent. I'm not surprised. I knew that they needed to pick some or the other Puggish map up if they want to go up against Godlike. Uh, we have mentioned in the past that Tempest do not have the best coordination, but in a map like Ascent, they can get away with those Puggish plays. They can make some YOLO plays work as well, and I guess individual brilliance will shine through in Ascent. In Haven, I don't think they have a good chance of winning because it is one of the strongest maps of Godlike and they play it almost every time, so this is great. Although when we get to Icebox, now this is a snowstorm where I have no idea what could happen. There's so many close angles people could play judges. There's so many off angles and cheeky plays that people of Tempest might be able to make that catch Godlike off guard. But then that being said, Godlike also is pretty good on Icebox, so both these teams are pretty much evenly matched on a map like Icebox. But that all will, be relevant if we go down to the third map. If Godlike are able to wrap this series up 2-0, well then Tempest, I don't think they'll get much opportunity to show us what they have.
All right, I think that's a really good deduction there. Aggressive. What are your thoughts? How do you think the maps are gonna play out? Any predictions or things to look out for in particular?
I completely agree with Crips. And we always talk about this in particular whenever we see an underdog team go up against one of the top, more higher ranked teams, and of course, the much more experienced teams, that it all really comes down to map number one. Because at that stage, if you're able to win out on map number one, you're going to have that momentum moving on down onto map number two, which would be the stronger map for your opposition and more experienced team. In that, you can lose out or you can win out as well if you have that drive to win, but at the very end, going in down into the deciders is where it's all gonna happen. So map number one is gonna be the real test for the side of Tempest. Will they be able to find it, or will they falter under the pressure that the side of Godlike is probably gonna give them? Because at the same time, I'm thinking that Godlike, they have a couple of spicy strategies in mind. Possibly a bridge, possibly a sky, or even a Viper coming on through, like we saw in the match against Team Valor.
All right, so Godlike Esports going up against Tempest will begin very shortly. I'd just like to let you guys know that you are watching the TEC Gauntlet Season 1, powered by WD Black and AMD Ryzen Radeon. Now, do keep a lookout for QR codes. You can scan them and get your Red Bull cans. Do check out the links in the description. You're not going to be disappointed. They're pretty interesting. All right, so we're going to take a small break. There are a few messages for all of you, and we'll be back with the match best of three between Godlike Esports and Tempest. Stay tuned.
The three things you didn't know about me. So the first one is when I was in school, I didn't take a single day leave from the first grade till the ninth grade. I mean, in the 10th grade, I did take leave, but not even a single day for like 9 straight years. I didn't take any leave. So the second thing is, the first time I saw a video game was when I was ill, and my mom took me to a family doctor, and his son was playing a video game. I mean, PlayStation 1, and he was playing Mario on it. So I got kind of fascinated, and I cried for at least 2 days uh, to get that PlayStation, and then my mom had to give me. But she gave PlayStation 2 then. Another thing is when I was 15, I used to play good snooker, decent snooker, and I once thought that I would be going professional and making a career in playing snooker.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Esports Club Gauntlet Season 1 Valorant, powered by WD Black and AMD Ryzen Radeon. My name is Fluky. Joining me for this one is going to be Crips. Crips, you were asking me what Tempest is all about. All I can say for you is hold on to your hat because this one's about to get wild. If the side of Tempest go down 0-3, we're going to see some insane stuff happening. We're going to see judges. We're going to see razors flying around double satches with, absolutely no cares in the world. So yeah, I mean, you better strap on because I think Deathmaker's going to give them the pain, and when he does, Tempest are going to be prompted to just fire back on all cylinders and just make them reconsider life again.
Very good of you to point out the whole hat thing. I'm kind of tempted to make a ball joke right now with the hat and everything, but you kind of brought that up on yourself either way. Yep, you're right. I am excited to see some YOLO plays. I am excited to see Jets dashing in. I'm excited to see Raises double satcheling in and everything. But all of that is a little bit too reckless, a little bit too wild, which
Yep.
is something I would expect from Tempest. Do you think Godlike will also pull off something like that in desperate situations?
I think Godlike doesn't really need to do any of that stuff because you look at their
Hmm.
roster, they have a lot of experience on board, right? You have the likes of Haiwan, you've got the Anchor, you've got the likes of Deathmaker. This guy can never just not go talked about on any panel or any game that he's in.
Hmm.
You have to focus on this guy. He's gonna go peek out, get kills. He's gonna disrespect you, and he's just gonna beat you because he's that much better at the game than you are. So
Hmm.
I feel with all the assets and all the tools that the side of Godlike have available to them, they don't really need to be the ones to make crazy plays. It comes a lot down to Tempest and what they managed to pull off. Now, you did mention that Ascent being the more puggish map is a map where they are likely to have a higher impact and a higher chance of winning. I just want to take a moment to say that this is something Godlike have done many a times in the past. If they know that a team is weaker than them, quote unquote, in some aspects. They let the opponents pick Ascent, and they themselves have the security of knowing that, okay, we probably have like two more maps where we're extremely comfortable on. And that's exactly what has happened this time around. So what Tempest have basically done here is sort of fallen into Godlike's trap, because the last time I saw Godlike on Ascent, they were absolutely killing it. I mean, I remember just Deathmaker going off every single time the camera was on him. And yeah, when you have someone like Deathmaker always peeking out shot, you just cannot afford to show tiles.
Yeah, you gotta commit utility to hold him back. You gotta throw your paint shells, maybe even shock darts. Now, that has been like the standard practice for all the attackers, right? Whenever you
Yeah.
have that maker on a shot defending that area, you gotta throw in everything you've got to make sure he doesn't get the angle on you first. Make sure that he doesn't peek you first, just so that you can cover the distance. I mean, once you
Yes.
do get to a shot, you still need to challenge him. That's a whole different ball game. That's something that they'll probably have to think harder on. But for now, you just need to make sure that he doesn't have a favorable angle on you, and then hopefully you'll throw enough flashes at him or maybe cut him off with a smoke. Even then, safety is not guaranteed. Either
Yeah.
way, that's just Deathmaker on a shot. You can't forget about how dynamically Godlike like to play mid. Sometimes they'll have three people positioned over there, sometimes they'll have absolutely nobody. And when
Yes.
they have nobody positioned on mid, you best believe that the other areas of the map are really, really well defended. What do you do in those situations? Because, like I said, Heaven likes to mix things up. Now, Heaven might not take those risks against stronger teams, quote unquote stronger teams like
Yep.
Global Esports, let's say, or Samurai or something like that. But against Tempest, I believe he will want to try something new, maybe something that is very, very risky, something like Global Esports could punish, but maybe Tempest couldn't. Let's see if he decides to go for something like that, or if he just plays it nice and safely and he still gives them the respect.
Yeah, most certainly. I feel like one very important detail that Tempest will have to worry about is that they need to respect the side of godlike esports. They need to remember that these guys are good. You have to play on point with the utility, and you need to sort of just, accept the fact that, okay, unless we respect these guys, there's not really a good chance we're going to win. So even though I'm kind of rooting for them to sort of go buck wild and pull out those judges and make those insane plays happen, I do think that this is a match where if they were to play a little bit more respect just to the side of godlike esports, I think they'd be surprised with what they could pull off, right? Because time and time again, I've seen them just try and do something too crazy, like walking down mid with three players just hoping to get that initial pick, make it a very brawly sort of a match, and it doesn't always work out for them. So I hope that for their sake, they pay godlike that respect, because if they do, they're going to be in a much better spot than they would be in if they were just to do YOLO Tempest stuff.
Yeah, but there is one more thing. I hope they don't end up giving them too much respect either,
Yeah.
because then that will mean they don't play their natural play style. They will be playing as a very scared bunch of people, holding back, waiting for Godlike to push, hoping that they can punish the pushes and maybe get a couple of picks. Nah, I just hope they respect Godlike, but not so much that they, start scampering into corners or
Yeah.
start being scared and not pushing out, not doing the stuff that they usually would. I just hope they can maintain that balance.
Most certainly. I think another important thing for Godlike Esports, like you mentioned, is going to be to have a fixed approach or some sort of approach to every single round that they have. Many
Hmm.
a times, players can have a habit of winging it, being like, okay, let's peek out short, let's see what happens, or let's walk up A main, let's see if we can get some map control there. No, I think there needs to be some or the other things that are set in stone for Tempest, especially that if they are gonna smoke off catwalk, if they are gonna make some smokes happen somewhere, if they are gonna do some weird crazy lineups, they need to play off of those. You can't just afford to wing everything all at once, because when you start doing that, godlike will punish you, because they're not a team that you can just wing stuff against and get away with it. So yeah, I do hope that ends up happening. But let's jump into the game. Ascent, the selection screen is in front of us for the time being, and yeah, you can see Darexot already locking that jet in. So this is going to be the guy to look out for when you're peeking against, and this is going to be the guy who's going to be sort of fighting Deathmaker with the operator and stuff. So yeah, I'm really curious to see what he's able to pull through. But yeah, I mean, apart from that, I'm not too sure what happened. I think one of the players might have had a disconnection there. I did see Antidote leaving the party for a second, so as soon as we get that fixed, we're going to be right back.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, this is something I want to touch upon a little bit more as well. Have you noticed that every single time Antidote has a sheriff, he makes a wild headshot happen?
Yeah, and it's not just him. Like, come on, he's not the only guy who can make that happen.
Oh yeah.
You know that, right? So
I mean,
yeah,
I,
you
I'm
gotta be
I'm
careful
saying that
about that.
I'm talking about in the sense that every single time we've talked about the side of God, like it's always been a little bit of more focus on Deathmaker or on Heaven or some of the more aggressive players on the team. But you have to remember that Antidote is also in there. And Antidote many a times has pulled together rounds for his teams, even though there are moments where with the operator he might miss a shot or two, but he definitely pulls his weight and then some, and he does it from the shadows because he has rounds where he's dominant. He has rounds where Deathmaker or someone else has done all the work for him. So I think we should remember that as well in the back of our minds. Just watch out for Antidote and what he's going to be doing because that's also going to be quite important um, in the coming game.
Yeah, I feel
But
like in the starting few
yeah,
rounds of the half, Antidote plays a little more passively because he doesn't have
yes,
better weapons. He usually is the guy who opts, right? So he has to go for the save. He has to build up that economy and then try to pick up the op. So he might be the guy who picks up a sheriff instead of, let's say, the Spectre, which is a more expensive weapon, just to
yeah,
save money. And given the aim he has, he of course can connect those shots with the sheriff, so he doesn't need to worry about anything. I might even expect a lot of Marshall plays from him because hey, Marshall is cheap as hell now, and it's even cheaper than the Stinger, so why not? Um,
yeah.
that being said, Antidote, yeah, you're right. He doesn't often get to shine because his teammates also are superstars, but that doesn't take anything away from him. That's true.
Yes, most certainly. I mean, even Rexy for that matter. Like, there have been so many rounds where I've seen Rexy do something weird. Like, he's gonna line up a shock dart, pull out the Hunter's Fury at the start of the round, do something bizarre, and get away with it. Get a kill, reveal a couple of positions, and the round's busted open for his team because they know exactly what's
Hmm.
happening at any point. So I think a lot of these players on God, like they, you just cannot count them out. So for that reason, I feel like if Tempest are to do this, homework and discipline are going to be the two key factors that go into this. I hope they've studied the side of God like esports and the plays they like to make. Because if they have some sort of idea about what they like to do going on this map, I think they're gonna have a much smoother time.
Exactly. And I'm so glad you mentioned discipline because I think that's one of the most key factors over here. You see,
Yeah.
this is not Haven, this is not Icebox. Well thought out executes and strategies are not very difficult to counter in a map like Ascent. But
Yes.
what is difficult to replicate is discipline. Making sure that your teammate always has your back or you have their back, making sure that whatever your teammate wants to do is clearly communicated with you because you might have a different idea of a round and your teammate might have something else in play. So it's very
Yep.
easy to mess up something like that in a map like Ascent. I hope that Tempest are able to bring their A game and also do well. But speaking about the agent selections, there's a double controller setup by
Huh.
Tempest. I believe
Okay.
something that Aggressive mentioned on the analyst panel might just come true here because they are probably looking to have Jobs play like a Sentinel. And that's why you will not see a Sentinel character on
Yes.
Tempest.
Yeah. I mean, I was thinking about this a while earlier, and I think it was one of the Tempest players themselves whose KD ratio wasn't looking the best. And I think that's because that can be quite misleading because this is the role he plays on his team. He plays the Viper, he plays it in a very defensive manner, just trying to get full utility going for himself, just making sure that the smoke sees the end of the round, the wall sees the end of the round, that
Mhm.
all those snake bites delay pushes and open up avenues for his teams, and maybe even line up some post plants and make sure that they secure those attacking halves in the back. On the side of Godlike though, standard stuff. Not a lot has changed. You can see Rexy hovering over Sova.
Mhm.
Deathmaker is gonna go for the Reyna. Whitehorse this time around playing the Killjoy, which can is a somewhat of a change up because the last time I saw Ascend by God, like there was Hewan playing the Killjoy and Whitehorse instead playing the Astra. So slight change ups there, but that's some that you can manage. Controller, Sentinel, not wildly different roles, but I guess you can say that the controller has a bit more agency during the attacking halves.
Yeah, that's true. And Hewan usually has been an Omen main. He's the default controller. So him picking up the Astra, it won't really make him very uncomfortable. I think he should still be in his comfort zone, and I think he still should be able to pull off some really, really good stuff. But that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we are about to hop into game number one. Ascent will be live anytime soon. All the players are already in here. They're lining up. They're agents, they're lining up the utility, sentinels putting up their defenses and whatnot. We're gonna have Godlike starting on defense and Tempest starting on attack. And right off the bat, we will be able to see the Tempest are about to go for a very fast A hit. Are they prepared
Yeah.
for this?
I don't think they are. They're quite well spread out. You can see Rexy playing towards mid as well. So maybe Darixot can actually dash in with the help of the Astra and make something happen over here. There you go. There's the smoke blocking off P-Shot. And wow, there's going to be no fight whatsoever from the side of Godlike over here. They're just going to try and retake this one. Deathmaker, man to watch out for the time being. Just going to be holding his ground. And it seems that they actually have a fairly decent post plan going over here. You can see the Viper already playing from all the way outside of A main. Okay, Antidote, Lord on him. He's gonna find that first kill, but gonna be traded out instantly by AZ. Good stuff from Tempest so far. Zoid's gonna find another Hairwans, get the trade though, making it a 3v3. The Viper postman lineup still remaining, and they're taking out Deathmaker as well. White Horse, he will find Zoid, who managed to do a lot of work for his team, but there you go. There's the post plant coming through, and that Poison Nova as well as the Snake Bite gonna deal a lot of damage. But wait, no, they actually didn't plant in the right spot, so they're gonna be able to take them down. Oh my god. Big
That was a
blunder here from
disaster.
Tempest. Yeah, I mean, what the hell? That's
This is
is what we
exactly
talked
what I
about.
was worried about. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I mean, they had everything going on. They had a good amount of advantage. 2 versus 2. Pretty doable stuff. The smoke that they put up at the start of A long, you know, the one that Hevan put down so that he could lock out the players hiding over there and hopefully not have to fight them. That smoke was about to dissipate, so they could have fought that place as well. But the plant came through at the wrong spot, and that was just disastrous. I believe the only reason that happened is because there was a little bit of pressure towards the green boxes. That's why they had to go for the plant to its generator. And they did not communicate that to their teammates, so yeah, that's what went wrong. But hey, something might just be recovered over here. One has been picked off, but as soon as I say that, Deathmaker exacts revenge, turning it back into a 4v4.
Yeah. Deathmaker, okay, I think that sounded like a headshot, but it wasn't one. It was just a straight shot to his chest. And he's going to be able to find that next kill as well. Just holding down Catwalk time and time again. This is Deathmaker's playground. Tempest, they've done well to find themselves one, but if they want to move any further in this round, they're going to have to pull off another miracle.
Yeah,
at this
and
rate, it's unlikely to happen.
it probably would be, but they just avoided disaster. Ace just managed to grab the spike and get over towards the attacker's spawn. If he would have been like 1 second late, he would have had to face the wrath of Whitehorse over there, who was already trying to push out. Now Whitehorse has spotted out the Sova over there, and Antidote, he's gonna deal with Chops, who was trying to sneak into the site, so they won't have any of these sneaky plays working in their favor. They avoided the disaster temporarily, but then, of course, they couldn't avoid the entire round, and they will be in a little bit of trouble once again. This is a bonus round for Godlike. Let's see if they can manage to hold on to their Spectres, or will they face some trouble with the Vandals and the Phantoms that their opponents have picked up.
Yeah, I mean, you still have to be feeling good if you're Tempest. You know, Zoid getting that one tap probably making them feel like, yeah, they're not as invincible as we'd like to think. Maybe we just need to, you know, get our heads back in the game, talk to each other, and we could still make this happen. And judging by the looks on their faces, Zoid just letting out a yawn is absolutely bored. Someone needs to wake him up. And I think the moment he wakes up, Godlike might be in for a ride. But yeah, jokes aside, I do think that Tempest did well to even find that single pick and getting all the way towards A side to, you know, maybe get that spike down if they're able to just find that initial pick in that area, but not able to do so. There's always a buy down to rely on, and we'll see what they can pull through this time. I like the change up from Godlike as well, though, putting the Killjoy on A.
Yeah, of course. That's what I said. Hewan keeps on switching things up, and that's something that you got to be worried about. Now, all you got to do is get some Red Bull into your players, and he won't be yawning anymore. He's going to have wings. Not like he needs them, but still, all that
Phoenix
energy.
without wings. It's gonna get one. He drinks Red Bull. See what you did there.
Either way, Tempest looking to challenge multiple places over here this time. They're going for more of a default spread out with 3 players just outside of A main, 2 players outside of B main, Spike still on top mid, so they're playing it nice and safely. You know, this is where the whole respect factor comes in. They're not pushing in at all. In fact, they're not even checking angles. They are just very, very scared that Godlike might be holding a crossfire or something. That's why they're worried about challenging him. But as I say that, Darixot grows a little bit of confidence and tries to move in towards mid, where he will be coming up against Deathmaker. Oh, the timing is perfect. Darkshot tries to cross in towards mid, and Deathmaker just walks out of that angle. And he could have peeked Deathmaker right now, but the duel might just start soon because Deathmaker has started to go towards the A side. He's still bobbing in and out in between, but so far GODLIKE have 3 people positioned towards the A side, which could be disastrous because the spike is heading towards B and only Antidote is present over here. Deathmaker has way too much responsibility, so he can't come in from market soon enough to help out Antidote. And he's gonna be the only man here. Gets a kill, gets away with murder as well. With the cloud burst, he's letting him pass. Oh no, this could be a disaster. He's gonna be able to line 2 of them up, and as soon as he respawns, he should have been able to get the kill onto the Phoenix as well. But hey, he did a job well enough. I think that's all she wrote for him, and that's very good indeed. 12 seconds left, barely any time. Can they go for the plant? Rexy will try to deny the plant with the shock dart. Does plenty of damage and should be able to pick them off with just the ghost. But maybe Zoid has a little bit of fight left in him. Not enough to win the round though.
Yeah, great stuff here from Antidote. This is what I was talking about, you know, I mean, yeah, Deathmaker, he's the one being talked about all the time, but Antidote, when he pulls out plays like those, you just gotta be feeling so, you gotta be feeling so good if you're God. Like, you're probably smiling to cheek, you're probably smiling like cheek to cheek. You're just thinking to yourself, man, this guy, yeah, when we just give him some room to work with, he's so clever. Another thing I want to point out that GODLIKE are doing very well is pairing up the initiator, the Sova, along with the duelist, making sure that they're set up and they have something to play off of. So the Killjoy and the Astra alone should be enough to hold A and buy enough time for the team. Whereas towards B, they're going to be relying on the Sova and Antidote as well as Deathmaker to make something happen.
Yeah, this time Antidote, Deathmaker, the Bengali duo, now looking to fight mid, and they might just pick up this fight. Oh no, Kubrick's gets one with the Sheriff. Now that's an opening that they shouldn't have been able to get, but they get it nonetheless. Rexy brings it back by getting the pick again on AZ. So that's still a 3v3. Mid fights still panning out in the favor of Tempest, and that's all they needed. And a pre-fire comes through from Darkshot as soon as Antidote decides to reveal himself once more. Yeah, that was a bad decision while he was still pinging from the that was fired from the owl drone. He's gonna get pre-fired, and that's the advantage that Tempest were looking for.
Yeah, but now they're gonna walk into an empty side towards B, and I think they've got the side of GODLIKE completely off guard here. Somehow around that, they probably shouldn't have had any business winning. They forced and they managed to pull this one back. So bomb should go down. They can clear out backside, make sure there's nothing cheeky happening there. And Rexy, it's his duty to clear out mid and make sure that they can go in together and try and make something happen, because GODLIKE Esports, they are in a bit of a hard place here.
Yep, that is true. And with 3 people in the back of side, it's gonna be an incredibly hard side to retake. They probably won't even find any information with that messed up recon dart. So now they just really taking a shot on the dark over here. Maybe that drone can tag a couple. Tag only one. Not too much revealed, so 2 more spotted out. And now they know where the last person is, but Kubrick, he's getting all those pings through, and he should be able to pre-fire onto both Rexy and Vitos with that.
My God.
Tempest. I mean, these guys have been able to pull off recon dart plays and owl drone plays throughout the round. First, they managed to get the kill onto Antidote by attacking him with the owl drone, and he got pre-fired. This time, once again, he put up that recon dart on the wall just as soon as the players of GODLIKE had started to enter. And even though GODLIKE got the first 2 picks, Kubrick's, this guy was able to pre-fire them both because none of them bothered breaking that recon dart. And as a result, Tempest walk away with an eco round. It's funny how they lose buy rounds, but ecos work in their favor.
I mean, there's a reason I was telling you to hold on to your hats, because this was the case every single time I was watching them last time around as well. The eco rounds, somehow they pulled through. But the buy rounds, I mean, other teams just managed to best them. So Tempest, definitely a bit of a weird team here in terms of that happening every now and then. Okay, but with this opening, something different might occur. Antidote is going to get the return kill on Darkshot, so that should even things out. But B is completely open except for Rexy. If they find this pick, they could move in here. And look at Rexy, slowly but surely going on. Oh, that timing! Man, if Rexy just was a second earlier, he would have spotted him, but he's still gonna find that first kill before being traded out. And the B side is completely open, and you can see the side of GODLIKE Esports trying to walk back into the side, but Zoid, that gravity well is gonna stop him from pushing in just for a little bit, but he's gonna get spammed through. Zoid spots him out. there you go. There's the hot axe towards lane as well to prevent them from pushing in. This plant is basically secured.
Yeah, the plant is secured, but is the round secured? I don't know. Last time Kubrick's was the one who stepped up for his team and helped them out. I'm not sure if he can pull this off again. This time they also have the stars of Astra, so maybe they can pre-fire some common angles, make a couple of people vulnerable, but Zoid stepping up massively for his team. Picking up his third for the round, will deny Antidote on the AWP and the Blade Stop. I don't think Hevan has a lot of scope left now, especially when he doesn't have any more stars left. Yeah, he probably could have saved that off, but Kubrick's will give him a free haircut, and that's the second round for Tempest.
Oh man, I was just about to say that Hevan is not someone you should count him out because he's thick in these aim deals as well, but as soon as I say that, he got peaked and destroyed, so fortunate. But Godlike Esports, after losing that eco round, losing the second one in a row, have to be feeling a little bit confused as to what's going on for the moment. And you can see, judging from the expressions on their faces, they know something's off, something went wrong that shouldn't have went wrong, but hey, if Tempest can pull off eco rounds, maybe Godlike can do it too.
Maybe they can, maybe they won't. We will have to wait and watch. So far, they have a little bit of information. I think they should have figured out by now that both the Killjoy and Astra are playing on the A side, so all this literally might just make things a little bit difficult. But maybe they won't be bothered because they know that Godlike Esports are on an eco. And surprisingly, Godlike Esports are not playing ecos the way they usually do. They're not pushing out to gather information. They're not playing very aggressively on ecos, you know, like the way they usually do. They usually play like they have nothing to lose, and that isn't really something that I'm seeing from them right now. So maybe this lack of aggression can be capitalized by Tempest. And so far, they're doing it. They've gotten picks everywhere with no trades, and they're getting away with these murders. I wonder how much longer they can continue to do so.
Yeah, I mean, them having complete control over mid basically means they can go wherever the hell they decide. The only problem for them is going to be the Killjoy, but even then, they had an idea that the Killjoy was towards A because they spotted him and Hevan playing that time and time again. Zoid though, going to clear a path for his team to move in there, getting spammed through the smoke. Easy though, with the backstabs, going to take out Deathmaker. It's going to be very important. Spots out another, can he take him out? Yes, he can. Easy pulls through. Kubrick's helping out as well. Rexy found a kill in the midst of that towards direct shot, but that's about all Godlike managed to get in that round. But that's okay, because the buy rounds now, and this is Godlike's time to shine.
Yeah, Godlike Esports, they usually do play aggressively in ecos. I just wonder why that didn't happen this time around. Even the first two kills that Tempest was able to pick up, there were no trades by Godlike, and yes, they did not care enough about this round, which is okay. I just hope they don't repeat the same stuff in the other rounds, especially in this buy round. Can't afford to give them an early advantage right at the start, so yeah, that's gonna be something. For now, Tempest have committed the Viper Toxin screen on the A side. That's gonna be a little indication of a potential push, but that is where the spike is, so this commitment of the Toxin screen might just be a little attempt to cancel them. The flash is perfect, but so many trades, and when the dust settles, it is still a 3v3.
Yeah.
Although in a 3v3 situation, the situation does tend to favor the attackers quite a lot, but Hevan makes this work for his team. He's gonna put down one more Nebula so that he doesn't get attacked from long, but he's kind of trapped inside Winery right now. He needs a little bit of help. If he doesn't get this help soon enough, all three of them will peek him at the same time.
Okay, that's good. He's creating a bit of a distraction for Rexy as well as Antidote to come in. Yeah, that's exactly what they need for the timing. Kubrick's being able to take out Hevan with a shock dart though is not gonna really help him. And Kubrick's also spots him out with that recon dart. Rexy is not able to find where it was located and gets taken out, and now it's just Antidote with the operator in a 1v2. Impossible for him unless he can find this first kill and pick up the Vandal. Kubrick's pulled up forward and he is gonna drop down Antidote. I think that was not intentional. Like, Kubrick speaks and gets the better of him. Good communication by Tempest though. I mean, as soon as the kill went over to Antidote, the position was relayed over to his teammate that he's very likely having Kubrick's. You know where the duel's gonna come from. And there you go. This is him being confused as to what the hell just happened. How the hell did I just get revealed?
Yeah, and the timing of that reveal was so good. Kubrick has been pulling it off again and again. Every time in retake situation, that recon dot comes in clutch. Gives them a kill or two every single time. We've seen it happen like 3 in a row now. And I hope he keeps on continuing this because this is good stuff. This is the kind of stuff that will win you games against Godlike. Kubrick, in my opinion, definitely has to be the MVP in retake situations for his team.
Yep. I mean, Tempest, though, they've been looking like they're on fire now and then. Winning that eco round, pulling the next one on board, and this one as
Aw.
well, forcing an eco from Godlike again. And finding that opening frag, man. These guys are looking like they have done their homework. Deathmaker, though, gonna send things in for a toss. Was that the operator on Tempest? There's no way Deathmaker actually hit that shot. If he did, I'm going crazy.
That Baker's going crazy. He always does. And he wants more. His intention to peek out mid is kind of indicative of the fact that Godlike know this is not going to be an A push, considering Hevan is already down in Winery. He's going to relay all this information to his team, and Rexy has such a good read on this, revealed so many players, and now the jig is up. The rotation from Godlike will start coming in. In fact, it's not even a rotation, it's a backstab. Both of them are coming in from B main, and it's going to be up to them to somehow get in here on time and help his teammate out, because Rexy is trapped and now he's dead. At least now they will be able to sandwich them from both the sides, but that Cosmic Divide and Viper Spit will make this retake very, very difficult.
Yep. Both of these ults being committed. Whitehorse has his own, though. Could drop the lockdown here, but has to be careful of it being spammed through. Jobs could just go ahead and do it, and he's sitting on the other side of that Cosmic Divide. He hears the sound, and there you go! Deathmaker finds another head, and Whitehorse finds the other one. Both getting one each. This Killjoy out there, exactly where to find Jobs. Job, good for one, good for two! Is gonna be able to pull it back, make that Viper ult work, and boy, oh boy, Tempest, they're not gonna drop these rounds.
Man, that lockdown was perfect. It was supposed to drive out everyone who was hiding inside that toxin. And it was supposed to force them to get outside that Viper's Pit, stay in the open, where they could be potentially shot down, but then Job steps up like a madman. My goodness, I did not expect that. And for a second, I thought the Tempest will not win this round because A, Brix was dead. His Hunter's Fury is the only thing that can actually stop the lockdown. And he's always been phenomenal with the recon darts and the timing in retake situations. So I thought as soon as Kubrick died, that's it. Godlike should be able to get the retake. But then if Kubrick dies, Job steps up. And this time it's time for Zoid to work his magic. But as soon as the rush comes through, a Hunter's Fury will be committed, and Kubrick will, of course, find two. Oh, Rexy, now he's angry. He's gonna pull out a Hunter's Fury in return. What can he do? Can he pull off as much as Kubrick's did? Because he dealt quite a lot of damage. 2 massive kills. I mean, the run it back from Zoid was basically useless because Kubrick did all the heavy lifting. And of course, now comes AZ. Team effort, everyone stepping up. They're using all their ultimates to perfection.
Looking for his next kill, is gonna find it. You've heard of Duelist Omen, but today you heard of Duelist Astra. As AZ time and time again has also been rock solid for his team. I don't think there's ever been a round where he's disappointed.
Yeah.
I mean, he's up there in terms of kills as well, so kudos to him for keeping up with the Duelist. And yeah, Godlike Esports, I mean, this is what I was talking about, right? If Tempest respect them, they are going to have opportunities, and this is exactly what's happening with them. The play is immaculate, it is calculated, it is precise, and it's not buck wild like the Tempest we were watching a while back. Godlike
I know,
Esports,
right? They seem more
clearly-
refined. They seem more
Yeah.
disciplined.
And Godlike again on an eco. I mean, this is 6 rounds on Ascent on the offensive side. If they just pull one on board, Tempest are going to be very, very happy going into the defensive half because they have the Viper to work with that can delay pushes forever. And Darixon, this time around, going to be leading the charge. Tags up Antidote and is going to be taken down by Zoid. Zoid now tasked with clearing out the site for his team as well. Rexy tries to push the smoke, be a little cheeky, but gets taken out. And Darixon just shutting everyone down left, right, and center. Whitehorse finds one, but that's all he's good for. The 7th round on board for the side of Tempest.
These set-piece executes are so difficult to deal with. And Tempest know that Godlike can only deal with these executes when they go for disruptive plays, when they try to push through smokes. Let's say, for example, we saw them try to put down cloud bursts at the mouth of the defender's spawn so that nobody can shoot through them. But they know someone from Godlike will play through it, so what do? They put down a Molotov, the hot hands on top of it, so that Godlike can't go for those disruptive plays. They know that Antidote likes to play somewhere in mid, and they know they need to shut him down. They also know that Hevan likes to play lane 1, so you know what? They let Hevan live. They don't care about him. They focus on everyone else first. When there's Hevan left and no teammates to back him up, he also will be rendered useless. But this time, though, it will be a little bit different. Last time, Tempest was able to capitalize on the absence of godlike players on mid. This time, Antidote takes matters into his own hands. Goes ahead with the op, and he makes sure that they cannot exploit mid anymore. But as soon as mid is given up, they take control of A main. If they don't get what they want, they'll take something else, but they will take something regardless. They won't go home empty-handed, and this time it's a 3v3 once again. And the spike is coming back to its A. Zoid, he's just holding over here for now. He's just hoping that nobody rotates. And look at the setup of Godlike Esports. Everyone has no rating potential. This recon dart getting destroyed might just give them the information they need. Hope Antidote will be able to come here and type and, back up Rexy. But other than that, the whole setup of Godlike doesn't seem like they can trade really well. Rexy is in a lot of trouble. Maybe he is in trouble. He lines up one, doubles up, and here comes the backup from Antidote as well. They needed to hurry up, man. As soon as Rexy got that information, yeah, that was basically the round done and dusted. Both these SOAs have been so instrumental for these teams.
Can I just point out for a second that Zoid basically pulled that round back for his teams out of nowhere? He got two headshots, won 2 straight deals in a row, and he lost 1 armor point. That's all he lost doing that. Yeah, absolutely insane.
Yeah, sometimes all you gotta do is hit your shots, and of course, when Antidote is just popping off on mid and then he comes back to help out Rexy, you need someone with a similar amount of firepower to step up as well, and Zoid has been doing that for his team. Currently top of the table. 14 kills, 7 deaths. That's a 2 KD. Let me tell you, that is rare. And now with that ultimate off that he has his run back again, he is ready to wreak some havoc once more. Okay, they'll try to delay him with all that utility, with the gravity wells and the nanostorm grenades, but hey, at least Dinosaur does manage to sneak in. Rexy, this time he will go through, playing disruptively through the cloudburst, and he picks up 2. He needed to do something like that. That's the only way to deal with the attack and the set piece executes from Team Tempest. And this time the utility usage from Tempest was not good enough to stop these disruptive plays from Godlike, Rexy, Deathmaker, Heaven, all of them pushing through the smokes, pushing through the utility, and making this work.
Okay. Zoid? Hasn't said die yet, but Antidote will lower him to his grave. And yeah, regardless, Tempest a very good half for them on the attacking side. You can see on their faces that they actually seem a little bit disappointed in themselves as to why they were not able to pick up a few more rounds. And in all honesty, they probably could have if they coordinated a bit more, if they had a few more smokes, maybe a shock dart to clear out some of the utility that the Killjoy had placed down. They could have, I don't know, maybe taken that side. But regardless, 7 rounds going to the defending side. If they win the pistol, they can have a decisive lead. And Godlike, it's going to be them to start reaching deep into their strat books and their pockets and pulling out something that we haven't seen before.
Yeah, you also need to be very careful about what's left in those pockets. It's very easy to fall into the trap of force buying again and again, and we have seen this mistake being committed before. I just hope they keep a check on their wallets as well. So far, a pretty slow round from Team Godlike. They aren't trying to go aggressive anywhere. The spike down on high mid. Antidote trying to see if anyone's peeking through this area. Recon dots to make sure nobody's playing up close and mid, and anyone else who is there is beyond that nebula, which is about to fade away anytime soon now. But this A take seems imminent. 2 players positioned outside Catwalk, 2 on A main. With White Horse playing as Lurk. Yeah, here it comes. How much more utility will they use to hold Godlike back? They've already used the Toxin Screen and the Hot Hands. This is indicative, but White Horse on that Lurk should be able to pick up the kill onto Darasat. Now with this advantage, they burst in.
Yeah, they're gonna start making their way towards the A main area. It's only gonna be Zoid trying to spam through the smoke, tag someone in, but he's not gonna be too successful. Deathmaker is gonna be just fine for the time being, and Heaven trying to push up towards Heaven to create some space. White Horse is gonna continue playing that Lurk and make sure no one really comes through the backstab. Rexy being revealed just does not care, is still gonna get the plan going for himself and chops. In a bit of a weird situation here. Has the Toxin Screen up in a bit, and there you go. Antidote being picked off by Zoid. This is exactly what they need. Now they can maybe try hunt down the Lurk, but Job is gonna find one. Heron's good for another. Gets the headshot, but it's not enough to get the kill. A 3v1 here in favor of Tempest. Godlike. Okay, they're gonna find one. White Horse is gonna find a second. Can he find the third? Viper sticking it. She's going for it. And Godlike, they're a bit too late. Jobs adds salt to the wounds and gets the kill with a triple shot from the Classic. That is absolutely insane coming in from Tempest.
Yeah, but you couldn't really have expected much of Whitehorse. This guy was supposed to be the lurk. He was supposed to come in late, and it's kind of not his fault that he was then stuck in a situation where his teammates had died. Also, his backstab was perfect. Like, keep in mind, he can't afford to run, otherwise he will give away the element of surprise. Like, Tempest
Yeah.
had no idea he was coming back from heaven, and he got those 2 initial kills. Unfortunately, the plant being just at the edge of generator makes sure that they can stick the defuse without him having an angle. But still, really good job by the Killjoy over there. Whitehorse stepping up for his team.
There.
I just hope he can continue doing this again and again because he is a very, very efficient lurker.
Yeah. Godlike, though, with a big gamble, they will buy this round, Crips. If they lose this one, they're not going to have a lot of money going to the next one, and it looks like it might work because Antidote has found that first kill towards AEZ, and they're going to start pushing in towards mid as soon as they see that opening. Duelist pushing up, but Darkshot's going to find a kill in return and pick up the spec to take him back, but Detonator through the smoke gets the better of him somehow. What the hell? This man has wall hacks in his brain. And there you go, Chop spotting him out. Deathmaker did a fair amount of damage to him, but is not able to convert it into a kill. Still, a 3v3, something that is manageable for the side of Godlike Esports. Can they string it together? None of the defenders are on site, so the plant should be able to go down without much contest. But look at Whitehorse once again playing that lurk, looking to catch these people off guard. Coming in from the shadows as full armor inspector as well.
And because they know Whitehorse usually lurks around mid, they're just so paranoid about his position. Like, take a look, they're using the Owl Drone to clear out market instead of the regular backside areas. That's how scared they are of Whitehorse. Rexy with that shock dart delivering once again, but the lurk has been killed. Now they know the remaining 2 players are in the back of side. They go in 2v2. It's just gonna be down to duels right now, and Zoid wins the duel, but Rexy is still alive. He's still doing all this heavy lifting, and he's just trying to boil as much time as possible. There's still plenty of time left on the clock, and Zoid is in no pressure whatsoever. He focuses on the fight. Yeah, Rexy really couldn't do much. He didn't have weapons, didn't have HP, but that's still a good round by Godlike Esports, right? I mean, 4 kills, all the armor negated, all the weapons down, got the spike plant. Good job.
I mean, Godlike meet Rock in hard place. The Rock being Tempest and the hard place being their force by this round. They're not going to be happy going into the next one because this is a round that maybe Tempest can pull together. And if Godlike is going to do what you said that they might do, you know, not respecting Tempest in a way and just force buying every single round, this could go out of hand very, very quickly. I mean, sure, there are 2 more maps to go, but Godlike are not at all going to be happy about the fact that they are down 1-0. Tempest, let's see what they manage to do this time around. They know that they're probably not going to be against the best weaponry in the world, so maybe they're a bit more confident with their approach, but still, measured heads on shoulders. That's what I like to see. In every situation, you just think about everything that could happen, and then decide what is it that they need to do here. And for now, they've decided that they need to post 5 people outside B,
Here.
and just play off of the Sova.
Yeah, I think it's all just going to come down to timing right now. And here comes the execute straight inside. They know that they need to shut out the market door, but Darkshot is able to get the kill onto Whitehorse before he gets locked out of the action. It's just down to the last 2 players inside the water area, and AEZ delivering with the Bulldog. Deathmaker finally puts his killing spree to an end, but that's alright. He's done all the heavy lifting he needed, and now Kubricks can do the rest. Hevan, last man standing, Spike dropped in a very uncomfortable situation. I don't think he's going to be able to retrieve it. I hope they don't give him 1v1 situations, but yeah, that's exactly what Darkshot was about to do, and he's still keen on fighting him. That could have been very bad. I mean, Hevan could have easily picked up that kill and then isolated the rest of the players. Yeah, sure, he wins that fight, but that's alright. I don't think that... I don't think you can disrespect God like that much. Still, it's a very good thing. It's very refreshing, too, that Tempest is in the lead.
Yeah.
They needed to win this map. They won't be having as much advantage on Haven, and they need to do all the damage in Ascend itself. And so far, they're doing a pretty good job. They've been getting a good read onto Godlike's plays too. But when Godlike switch things up, can they keep up?
Yeah, that's the question indeed. I mean, let's see if they have an answer to that. For now, Tempest, they are running a bit of a default here, but Godlike Esports doing something cheeky, sending 3 people catwalk to try and see if they can burst through this area. It's going to be Zoid holding on with his flashes though, so it's not going to be so easy to push in just yet, and they have to worry about the Viper Wall as well as the Poison Herb. If things go south, you can always throw down those Molotovs and delay the push and buy time for your team to come in, but maybe that's what Godlike are looking to do here. Whitehorse sticking around in that corner for now. And Zoid, how many can he find? He's gonna be taken out before he can find even one. Deathmaker is better than him. And he's gonna move on to the side. Jobs, though, still playing this cheeky angle, has not been spotted out. Just get an antidote. Oh my god, he flicks around and gets the kill on Jobs. Jobs, not gonna be too happy about that one. Probably got robbed there, but there's still 3 people living in this. Maybe they can pull this one back. Well, Kubriks will find one. Make it a 2v4, but a 2v4 is still a bit of a tough situation with Rexy coming in from the flank. This time around, he's done a fair bit of damage to Kubriks, and they know that they are in a bit of a hard spot. So they're both going to try and turn around and take him out, but that's just time being shaved off the clock. That's exactly what GODLIKE need.
Ab in a way, Rexy makes the stylish plays work. Sometimes it's Whitehorse, sometimes it's Rexy, but there will always be someone or the other on mid. I think that is the lesson that Tempest need to take away from this round. They may have lost the round, but they gained crucial information, and they now know that GODLIKE do not necessarily stick to roles of the whole traditional lurker initiator thing. No, they just find players in comfortable positions and they adapt to it. That's the kind of flexibility you need when you're going up against a team like GODLIKE. But hey, Tempest, now that they have the information that they require, I think they should be able to put up a good amount of defense. But take a look at the buy from Tempest. It's very unorthodox. 2 Vandals, an AWP, a very expensive investment, but then they have 2 cheap investments in the form of the Judge and the Spectre as well. So it is a mixed bag.
Man, but this isn't a mixed bag. This is a message. Tarek's not being able to find antidote. That's insane. GODLIKE Esports. I mean, they have a 4v5 disadvantage on the attacking side, so wherever they go, they're gonna have to be sure about it because they might not be able to burst through the side if they bring too few players. Easy. Making it for his nose, but there you go. Deathmaker finds that first thing going in. Phoenix gonna pop the run back, but Deathmaker starting to go ham as he finds AZ once again, making it a 3v4 in favor of GODLIKE Esports. And Rexy once again playing the cheeky angle. This is gonna be taken out by Zoid though, so Zoid not having any of it for the time being. Still has 2 flashes to work with, but Deathmaker, the Empress, is available, and Whitehorse can make them reconsider their decisions with the help of that lockdown. The Owl does not spot Haywan.
Yeah, that could be a problem. So far, the lockdown doesn't really bother them. They needed to wait for their Viper to join them anyway. They have the recon out available, and so far it's been very impactful. I just hope he finds it again, but this time they seem to be going in raw. Zoid will be taken off by Whitehorse as soon as he peeks, and the recon dot does not reveal too much. The shot blast might do a little bit of damage, but then comes Heaven, trying to deny anyone who's walking in from Gardens, and now Kubriks has no choice. He's just gonna have to take the expensive weapon, run away, and hope that they don't hunt him down because they are on the hunt. He can hear these footsteps, hot in his pursuit. Do they find him? I don't think they have the time. Please don't peek. Please don't peek. They don't.
Yeah. Good on Kubriks to be able to save that up and take it into the next round, but he's probably going to have to be dropped by his teammates because there's not a lot of money on the side of Tempest here after GODLIKE managed to pull those 2 rounds together on board, one after the other. And you can see they're relegated to a bunch of Sheriffs and Frenzies, but if Tarek's continues with that performance on the operator that we saw last round, maybe something different can happen, but it's actually Jobs running it, so yeah, things are going to be slightly different this time around. Still, a throwaway round probably for the side of Tempest. All they're really looking for maybe is to take the operator into the next one, and that's the best case scenario.
I was a little scared there. I thought that nigga would one-tap him in mid-air, but yeah, that didn't happen. Either way, they know that Tempest are keen on challenging A main. No other reason for them to break that alarm ball and try to push ahead of that one way. That probably will not bother them. The Cosmic Divide comes through. Darazod knows that if he falls back, he's going to be relevant, so he goes in their faces only to have his face blown off.
Yeah. Rexy, give him free cosmetic surgery for the time being. Kubriks did hear that little bit of sound that players are towards this other side of lane, so yeah, he's going to put that information over to his team, but can he find any kills? Yes, he can. The frenzy's good for 1. Still being a little bit cheeky. That recon dart not gonna do much, but he knows that he needs to check that angle. No, he does not. He gets a little greedy for the gun, and Rexy is gonna put down Kubriks. A 4v3 now. The backstab coming in loud and clear. They know exactly where the side of Tempest are.
Yeah, and they're gonna fall back into the side. GODLIKE do not want to give Tempest any chance to work with. They know that if they get challenged, they probably don't want to give them these 1v1 fights.
Man. Easy, just getting that one through the smoke with the help of the recon. Zoid is okay. Heaven's gonna finds Zoid, but where's the last one? Okay, it's gonna be Chop saving that operator like we talked about earlier. So kudos to him. This is what we talked about. If they get that operator into the next round, the side of Tempest still have a good chance, but Godlike is slowly starting to creep back up in terms of rounds. And yeah, the economy is built up as well on the attacking side. Let's not forget
Exactly.
that it's a lot more forgiving to play on the attacking side than on the defending side. So this is gonna start weighing in as the rounds continue to progress here.
And the fact that Godlike are able to survive with more members again and again, 3 in the last round, 4 this time, it means that they don't have to reinvest and the economy starts to snowball out of control. Like they're on the verge of reaching the 8,000 credit mark. And I can't say the same for Tempest, who have just managed to scrape a bite together. But luckily for Tempest, they have 2 important ultimates online. They've got the Empress and the Hunter's Fury. Maybe they can pop off. I'm sorry, it's Godlike who have the Empress and the Hunter's Fury. Let's see what happens this time. Darkstar's position will be revealed, so they're gonna put down the Nebula to make sure that he becomes a little irrelevant. He doesn't have a line of sight onto them. But still, Godlike haven't committed to the site. They're gonna wait for the Hunter's Fury to come through, clear out the most common angles, and then go through. Doesn't find anyone. And that's all they needed. But hold on, this was just a ruse. This was just a fake. They are now hightailing towards the beast side. Deathmaker trying to create an opening on mid. He won't be able to do so. And that Cosmic Divide might just hold him back for a little bit longer. They're starting to run out of time now. 50 seconds left on the clock. And they haven't even reached B main yet. They're going to be very scared to go through this Cosmic Divide, but then it goes down, and now maybe with 40 seconds left, they can make this work. So he's going to pre-fire across his corner, getting the better of Heaven, and then comes AZ. This guy, he was able to get the kill as soon as the Nebula faded, and Kubrick's committing to the Hunter's Fury, always getting the kill. Is just so good. Yeah, Tempest read that like an open book.
The kill is fine, but what the hell is that tag on White House by Kubrick? I know he's playing the Sova, but god damn, he just knows where everyone is on a map at any given time. This man is insane with that Hunter's Fury.
Yeah, that he definitely is. The timing, the precision, just the overall awareness of where his enemies would be is insane. And the way they work together, it is magical.
Yeah. I
also,
mean,
to some extent, it was almost comical how Godlike failed in that round. Like, they committed all their utility, but their Nebula started to fade away as soon as they were moving in, and AZ got a free kill, and they got pre-fired. Yeah, that's the kind of stuff that you just don't plan for. It just happens to you. That's just straight up bad luck.
Yeah, and Tempest feeling confident this time around, switching things up, making Godlike afraid for their lives as Deathmaker falling back from B. Okay. See where the recon dart lands. It's gonna be taken out instantly though, so they're not gonna give away a lot of information, but they should have some semblance of who's playing towards this B area for the time being. More stars being committed though, so Tempest really don't want to give up this B main control just yet.
Yeah, and they will be mostly successful in taking it. The only difference is they've left Deathmaker just outside of B main, and most of Godlike are now huddling up towards A, so Deathmaker is gonna be a distraction / a lurk over here. But even Tempest have a good read on this. That snake bite coming through at that time, it just indicates that they are aware of the fact that there could be a potential A push. But then as soon as I say that, they start to move towards B. Now I'm doubting myself. Do they or do they not know about Godlike's presence? Yeah, now the Nebula start to pour in, and this should be a dead giveaway, and Darkstar can't really do much to stop him.
Okay, there's still 20 seconds remaining on the clock, but this is actually going to be a fake because while these players are going in towards A, Deathmaker was making his way towards B, but he's been taken down here. Only 15 seconds remaining on the clock. They have to commit. Godlike Esports, there's not enough time remaining. You need to get going. Tempest, this is the 12th round for them. If they get to this one, they're going to be on match point. They don't have time. They simply don't have time. Oh my god, what a big blunder by Godlike Esports.
They tried to go in for a double fake. I mean, the first fake itself took them plenty of time. They had like something 40 seconds left when they decided to go for it. But then the commitment to go for the double fake just ended up boiling down time so much. They just never had anything left. And when there's no time, you're going to get desperate. You're going to stop checking corners in an attempt to race to the spike site. Yeah, that's when you start making mistakes. I feel like that snakebite coming through on A main is what made them consider, okay, they know that we are faking. And because that nigga was still alive over there, they thought, okay, maybe there's a chance, maybe they can pull off the double. Yeah, it just did not happen.
Yeah, Godlike, though, thanks to the rounds that they put together consecutively, they still have a lot of money in the bank. So they do have a full buy going into this last one, but Derek saw it. is not gonna allow them to have the man advantage as he finds the first kill on Rexy. Now, start to hold A main here. The lockdown should be coming through. The Suva ult is not available on Tempest, so there's no way they take this one out. There's some insane wallbang that I don't know of, but yeah, that's unlikely to be the case. Deathmaker lurking in towards mid, though Zoid holding it. He knows what Deathmaker is up to. He's gonna tag him down. A headshot through the wall is gonna put Deathmaker at 40 HP. And now, yeah, as soon as he hears the run it back, he starts running away. The Phoenix just eager to press W and find that kill is not gonna be successful as he was blinded.
It's okay. He's done a good enough job. Down to the 4v5. I think Godlike do have a winnable situation in their hands, especially when Deathmaker is able to take down the Opper. Now this retake becomes a lot more harder, and he's doing everything he can to delay the people of Gardens from coming in. And even if he doesn't get those kills, he's just forcing them to come fight him first rather than actually focus on the side, and this is just wasting so much time. And he's getting kills on top of that too. Deathmaker was just supposed to create space, but he creates so much death.
Well, his name certainly suits him.
Yeah.
He made a lot of death in that round, 4 to be precise, on Godlike Esports.
We're speaking of it as if that is a quantifiable object.
I mean, it was pretty quantifiable that round. The maker of death
Yeah.
actually made 4 people dead, so... Yeah, jokes aside, I do think
Jesus.
this is a very important round for Godlike Esports. I mean, yeah, they basically lose this map if they don't win that one, so kudos to them, but now they don't have ultimates to work with, and Tempest, they should be getting closer and closer towards theirs, so a few points here, a few kills there, they might be able to find something. Jobs is at 5 and 7, and Kubrick is at 3 and 7. Okay, so maybe it's going to be another round or two before they actually have them online, but still, the advantage in favor of Tempest. Let's see what they... can do here. Just one round more, Chris. Just one round more and this map will be theirs.
Yeah, and they've done such a good job. They fully deserve this victory. There's only been like a couple of rounds where Godlike made unforced errors, which went in the favor of Tempest. Other than that, they were forcing out errors out of Godlike left, right, and center. They were doing it again and again, and this time they're looking to do so once more. They have sent Deathmaker on a mission, but no trading potential does kind of make me concerned. Will Deathmaker actually be able to pull this off? I mean, of course, he's got the raw aim. I'm not doubting that. But trading? Yeah, that's not going to happen. Unless they try to just get him deep into enemy territory and expect him to be the lurk, just like he was in the last round.
Yeah.
Only the difference is, last time he was lurking towards B, now he's lurking towards A, with most of his teammates present in B main, ready to execute. The Nebulas will start coming through, the recon dart has been fired, and now they burst into the B side. Deathmaker already on the lurk. He's trying to catch up with them already. And AZ just needs to hold on. He just needs to buy time for his team to arrive, but he's going to be able to do only little bit.
Yeah, and Deathmaker finding those 2 kills, finding 3 kills. Tempest getting hit by a truck, and its name is Deathmaker. Z finds 3, the round in the back for them, unless Kubrick is capable of pulling miracles. With a Spectre, I don't think that's likely to happen. He's probably going to fall back, probably look to find a weapon that he can pick up, take into the next round, maybe get some exit frags, but that's about it. Godlike Esports, this is the executes we were talking about. This is the executes we talked about earlier.
Yeah, and this time they went for a single fake too. They had plenty of time, no double fake shenanigans. And Deathmaker's look was actually very successful.
Yeah, the mech
Maybe
double's
he
a
can
little bit costly for them, so they go for the mech single. But okay, Kubrick finds one, and the shock dart to follow up, but he's gonna be taken down most likely. Yeah, Godlike Esports not really gonna let him get away with that. And okay, he's alive, but he's gonna be taken down.
It's not like he could have done much with the saved Spectre as well.
Yeah. Hey, he
They're
gets
gonna
money.
Yeah, I mean, considering that they are still going for a force in this round, it might just have helped them. That Spectre can be crucial. There is a Hero Phantom in the works, in the hands of AZ. Not so sure how I feel about this though. He's left just enough money for himself to buy another weapon in the next round, but I don't think he's going to be having utility then. Yeah, this could be risky.
Okay,
But he is looking to challenge.
Oh my god!
Not like
Yeah,
this.
he did not like what he saw there. 4 members from Godlike peeking him at once. Having a bit of a scare there. Antidote. He's gonna be holding down market, and this round certainly in the bag for Godlike Esports again. they need to take it to overtime because they pretty much have no choice. Direct shot, trying his luck, spamming through the smoke, but is unable to find anything. Man, Godlike, I mean, sorry to cut you off, but Tempest, yeah, they did so well to get this far. If they lose this round and the one following, they're gonna be a little bit heartbroken.
Yeah, they will be. They're already heartbroken. Like, I can see the look of defeat on the face of AZ. He tried to break that turret first, whereas it shouldn't have been him breaking that turret. It should have been his teammate who's helping him out.
Man.
And, like, 4 people peeked him at the same time, but they all lined up too, right? Like, imagine what would have happened if they actually just walked into his crosshair and he got, like, I don't know, a triple spray down or something like that. That would have been sick. That would have changed the whole storyline of the game, and now that he didn't even get to do a little bit of damage, he's gonna be very, very sad. At least he still has a weapon. But the lack of stars on him will mean that they won't be able to delay Godlike as much as they would like. They're gonna have to rely on Chob's utility to hold Godlike back this time.
Yeah, there is still one thing working in their favor. It's that if AZ can find an orb or find a kill, he'll have the Cosmic Divide, but they're not taking any chances. Chob's gonna pop his ultimate towards B main, just to make them reconsider ever pushing up this far ahead. And Chobs, yeah, he knows the spam's coming through, so he's not gonna go forward. That Owl Drone should clear things out, as well as the Snake Bite to just make sure that they don't push through. Okay, Rexy as his ult. Can he tag him up twice in a row? He's trying to find him and he finds him! The Viper ult goes down. This push is going to come through from Godlike Esports, and the Astral Divide, the Cosmic Divide rather, is going to be there as well, just to make sure that they have a safe entry on towards that side. Antidote clears it out and the bomb should be going down. Kubrick's though, little bit shy. Using his ultimate. You've seen what he can do with it when he has the opportunity, but what can he do with it now? That's the question.
And take a look at this off angle that Rexy has been holding. He does it every time. And even though he gets revealed, it doesn't matter because they still have the Astra in T-space. That could be disastrous. And look at the way how he's been given backup. I mean, it's just perfect how Hevan staying on attacking spawn is letting Rexy be successful. And he's helping him out. Deathmaker also now taking matters into his own hands, is going ahead, turning on the violence button. And they push through. We are going to overtime in the very first map itself, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be a spicy series.
Yeah, Godlike Esports and Tempest playing it down to the wire time and time again. The bad news is going to be for both sides that running operators are going to be very, very costly. They're going to have to be naked operators, so we'll see if they decide to go for that risk. Antidote does, and he does have a dash to get away with it, but no smokes, no updrafts. It's going to be a little bit problematic if he can't find that first initial pick and make that operator work. So big gamble from Godlike. On the other side, rifles all over the board.
Yep. The operator's going to have to pay off big dividends. Antidote is going to be a little squishy this time now that he doesn't have armor, but I guess he's fine with it.
Okay. Throw down some smokes as well as the gravity well to catch someone off guard towards A main, but they're not going to be too successful. Did Hewan forget to buy a weapon? No way.
Huh?
No way. Wait, am I confused? Hewan does not have a weapon?
And he's got all the money, so it's not even like he switched. Oh. Yeah, you're right. He doesn't have a weapon.
God, like a big blunder by them, but Tempest don't know about this. They could still just end up running into the rifles of Godlike, but Deathmaker is gonna be fine because Hyper Molotov bounces in the way. We gets 2 taps. Zoid and Jobs meet their makers. The maker is Deathmaker.
You can see how desperately Hevan wants that gun. He wants to go in. He's just so tempted. He's like a kid at a candy store. He sees all this candy in front of him and he wants it. But now just Kubri and Dariot, what can they possibly do? He's about to walk into a trap, but Dariot does win that opening duel. Maybe he can make something work, but Deathmaker, I don't think he's gonna let him do anything. Got him cornered as well. Pre-fires Dariot. And Hevan got his gun, finally!
Yay! Claps for him, but yeah, Deathmaker. His name written all over this round. It's only Kubik still surviving and he's not gonna find it. Hewan gonna pick up that weapon and they get that kill in return. No harm, no foul, no one noticed what happened. If you're Tempest, you didn't see it. And you can see Deathmaker smiling because he knew what Hewan was up to, and Hewan quite concerned. That's the look on his face there.
Yeah. I'm surprised something like this doesn't get punished. right? I mean, Godlike are just chilling about it. They're having fun, but hey, if Tempest knew the reality of this round, and if they decided to actually push A with everything they've got, knowing that Hewan doesn't have a gun and there's only Deathmaker to stop them, I think they would have been a lot more confident. But then they were giving too much respect to Godlike this time. I mean, they were playing really, really passively,
Yeah.
not
And
like they usually would. So that's something I was concerned about right from the start.
I think going to overtime might have defeated them mentally, and that mental game is a big aspect that we talk about that time and time again. Tempest, though, on the defensive side this time around, the onus is not on them to make plays happen. It's going to be on Godlike, so they can sit back and relax, but Rexy actually finds an opening here towards mid, getting that first kill, and now Tempest, he's starting to worry a little bit. Antidote, you can see the confidence on this man as he goes on top of Jenny, tries to take out one AZ, getting spammed left, right, and center. Curious is able to find one, but that's elsewhere on the map. He's trying to creep up towards shot, although door has been shut. Godlike gonna get that plant down. Tempest not feeling too happy about this, and Whitehorse actually got the kill as well as the plant, so he has money, he has all the points for his ultimate. Tempest, slowly but surely, feeling like a coffin is closing around them and they're being lowered into their graves. Oh no, a team flash from Zoid. Kubrick's though. Not gonna focus on that for the time being because there's a round to be won over here. Whitehawk, let's see how much you can do. He's gonna find the first kill before being traded out by Zoid. A lot of pressure on him. No, he cannot. Godlike Esports with the first overtime will manage to pull it back. Antidote is dancing. Rexy has his hands on his head and Deathmaker smiling. Man, reactions from these team. Godlike, they knew for a fact that Tempest is starting to step up and they're doing well, but they don't let that intimidate them. They make sure that they work on their mistakes, they fix it, and they make a comeback in overtime 1.
And
Man,
Godlike
yeah.
knew that they basically won the game when they got inside the heads of Tempest. The fact that they were respecting them so much in the first round of overtime just kind of proves it. And that's why Godlike decided not to beat around the bush too much and just straight up go for it. It was a rather simple A execute, nothing to write home about, nothing out of the ordinary. So they stuck to the basics. They made sure that the trades go in their favor, and they knew that Tempest were already running scared. They were already a little worried, so they decided to just push the envelope, put the pedal to the metal, get this first map in the bag. And now that they have it, I think they're gonna be very, very relieved going into Haven.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
the whole
mean,
the whole comeback from 9-12 to the overtime kind of broke Tempest mentally, I think.
yeah, I feel so sad about them too, right? Because it's a very well-earned half. I mean, they've done so well to get this far, but then they get to overtime and then they're mentally defeated. Sucks, but hey, let's have a look at the highlights again and see what Godlike did right. So maybe this time around Tempest can learn from it.
I think in the highlights, the first few rounds that we see are just going to be Tempest doing a lot of good work. Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. I mean, the pistol rounds and everything were a little choppy. But after that, the way Tempest were using their utility, the way they were using their executes, it was so difficult to deal with for Godlike. And
Yeah.
they cannot deal with the set piece executes. Yeah, sure. This play by Antidote was chef's kiss. So good. Such good
line
presence
up.
of mind. Yeah, they lined up for him too, and he almost got the kill onto Zoid as he was respawning, but luckily he had a little bit of backup, and then letting him pass like that, it just shows how much presence of mind Godlike had. And
Yeah.
it was this presence of mind, it was this adaptability that got Godlike the win in the first place, because Tempest were doing a lot of good executes, and they were also making sure that Godlike are not able to disrupt them. That's what went right for Tempest in the first half, but eventually Godlike was able to overcome it. They were able to figure out how to break these executes. I mean, if you give them enough time, eventually they will figure it out, right? Godlike are smart
Yeah.
that way. So they just needed a little bit of time, and everyone on Godlike stepped up individually to buy that time for the team, and eventually they figured out the playbook of Tempest.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not a biggest fan of the Jet. I feel like Jet is probably one of the most overrated duelists in Valorant. But
You take
after
that back.
no, I mean, I'm gonna say this. She has utility. Yes, you get one free peek with the op. That's about it, right? I mean, sure, the smokes are good and all, but the way Antidote used those smokes actually made me reconsider Chet. I mean, that's what I was getting to. Like, Antidote, the way he played that round actually started to make me consider all the possibilities that the agent offers, and certainly seeing that in his hand, he's reform me. I'm a new man now. I certainly have some respect for all the Jet mains out there. So if you insta-lock Jet in my games, I'm not going to be too displeased. But Tempest at the same time, if I could just get into the heads of one of those players, it would be Kubrick's. It would be how he lines up those Hunter Fury shots. Because if we had a statistic for every single time he used Hunter's Fury and how many hits he actually got off with that, I think more often than not, he got a lot of hits with that. I mean, I remember a round where he got 2 kills with it, and then on top of that, he tagged up a third one. That's nuts. I mean, how much more value can you ask for from an ultimate?
Yeah, sure, his ultimate was amazing. That's given. But his recon darts were even better. And the timing of
Oh,
those
yeah.
recon darts, it's just impeccable. Every time Godlike are trying to retake the site, or whether they are the ones who are hiding in a retake, they almost never are able to break that recon dart. And every time you get pinged, there's just so much advantage in the favor of Tempest. Like, they know
Yeah.
when to pre-fire, how to pre-fire. They will win the duels on the back of those recon darts. And that also, Godlike have to look away from a direction to shoot that recon dart down. It just disorients them so much. And
Yeah.
if they do get disoriented, if they do try to break the recon dart, that's when the Tempest players pounce in. I kind of do want to get inside your head to,
There's
figure
not
out
much
why
there.
you said all. Yeah, I can see that, Loki. But I just kind of want to figure out why you said all those things about Jet. But then you kind of redeemed yourself and you said all those good things about Kubrick's, and I wholeheartedly agree with you. Either
Yeah, I
way,
mean,
this banter will go on. But what's next?
it's Haven. And if you
It's
want to
Haven.
watch that, we're going to take some time off. We're going to cut to a short break. But when we're back, we're going to be back with Haven and Tempest. We'll see if they manage to make a comeback on this one. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Esports Club Gauntlet Valorant Season 1, powered by WD Black and AMD Ryzen Radiant. My name is Floki. Joining me for this one's going to be Crips. A very close first match in Ascent being played out by Tempest and Godlike culminates in Godlike's favor despite a heroic attempt from Tempest. Nonetheless, there's always a map 2, there's always Haven, there's always time to pull it back, reset yourself mentally, and start anew.
Pull it back or pull them in. I think we are going to see some Astra supremacy in Haven. We know that Godlike always like to pick it up, and this time Tempest also showed some good stuff with their Astra and their coordination as well. If they can replicate the same amount of coordination that they had in Ascent, they use it in Haven, I think they can still give Godlike a good run for their money and maybe push us into map number 3. But given the way how Godlike broke them mentally in the last few rounds of Ascent, yeah, I'm starting to get a little concerned.
Yeah, most certainly. But Godlike switching things up. I see Deathmaker on the Phoenix, and I am very, very happy.
Yeah, you
I
kind of
mean,
like the Phoenix, don't you?
I love the Phoenix, best duelist ever. Just kidding,
Yeah.
Reina's really good. She's probably the best, but Phoenix is always gonna have my heart.
Oh, all right, Floki.
Yeah,
Putting your heart on your sleeve, just wearing it right there. Either way,
absolutely.
you can start hating on the Jet after she gets nerfed in the next patch, but for now she's still very relevant. And guess what?
Yep.
Jobs isn't going for his signature Viper
What
anymore. He's
the
picking up the
hell?
Jet instead.
That's a big change up coming in from Tempest here. Okay, so they
Yeah,
actually feel like they need to change the way they're playing. Jobs on that Jet and Darik's or Dariot, however you want to pronounce it, playing that Cypher. Interesting.
massive.
The Cypher is an agent you want to pick on Haven because on Haven he is really, really useful with the cyber cages and tripwires as well as that camera. And
Yeah,
them starting out on the defensive side might just give them an edge.
yeah, but Darkstar, is he really comfortable with it? I mean, I'm used to seeing him on the duelists. This is a massive change for Tempest, and I'm not sure how comfortable they are with it. For the side of Godlike, though, things still look more or less same, right?
Yeah.
Deathmaker on a duelist, Phoenix, doesn't matter if he picks up Reyna or Phoenix, whatever, it's still fine. White Horse as the lurking Killjoy, as usual, Rex on Sova, Heaven on Astra, and on Jet. So no surprises over there from Godlike. But yeah, this is a massive change for Tempest. And I don't know. I'm kind of in two minds about it. Part of me says that this will make them less predictable and Godlike will have a little hard time adjusting to it. But another part of me thinks that maybe they will crumble under the pressure themselves because they don't know how to use it properly. So let's see what
Yep.
happens.
I have a strong feeling that this is a very forced or a very planned attempt by Tempest. So maybe that this is something that they might have practiced in some of their practice matches, some of their scrims, or maybe Derek Sort plays this a lot in his pugs or in his pubs.
Could be,
I'm
could
cu-
be.
yeah. So this is one of those things that it looks really good on paper, but like you mentioned, proof's in the pudding. So let's see what he manages to pull through. For now, I see 3 Astra Stars being lined up towards C, and yeah, not much is going to come of those because he's going to pull them all back to try and get into the sneaky position. So that's what those smokes were for. And Hewan, he's got them off guard. What a brilliant play by him. His head, certainly bigger than mine. Big, big IQ moves by Hewan, opening things up here on Heaven. Sorry.
Cage triggered.
Well, let's see if we can pull this off again. So far, the gravity roll doesn't do too much to Darexot because he's playing on the back of those cloud bursts. But then he peeks ahead, and he does get one in the end. But Antidote's already on the back lines, and he's picked off 2 of his own. So then the dust settles. Zoid will be left in a 1v2. At least he can heal himself back to 100 HP and has 1 flash to work with. But this crossfire between Team Godlike could be deadly. Antidote also is trying to fall back towards a shot, and the turret is gonna buy them enough time to let them get into a good position. They both are holding a shot, and as soon as Zoid tries to peek one of them, the other one can cover their backs.
Yeah.
And he's only got much to work with, so how much can he possibly do? He's already used it to clear under heaven, and he's got nothing to work with.
Okay, that alarm bot is gonna seal his fate. Antidote picks up an easy kill with 2 or 3 shots to the body, and that's gonna be about it. Hair one. Huge props to him for getting that initial pick towards teammate. I don't think any of us were expecting that, but that triple smoke, this is the kind of stuff you can only figure out if you've actually dedicated time to picking your agent and trying it out in the lobby. You know, this is not something you pulled right off the bat because you just saw someone else do it. This is him discovering things, learning things about the agent, putting it to good use. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm not
good
sure.
stuff.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I've seen someone else do this before, but yeah, this is definitely new for me. So, Hewan, kudos to him.
Well, let's hope they have something more in store for us. I love seeing new stuff. And if they keep on pulling off stuff like this, then definitely they will throw Tempest. And,
Yeah.
make them work quite a lot to figure out what Godlike are putting up. This time, once again, Godlike are just huddling up outside of mid, and the pings on the map kind of indicate that they want to go somewhere towards C or towards Garage. And they put down the stars in accordance with it. The recon dot won't reveal anyone in Garage because there is no one in Garage. Tempest stacked up the A side this time, but nobody on C. This is gonna give Godlike a free plant. And a very difficult retake for Tempest.
Yeah. The seaside being left completely open. At least they have all 5 players, but AZ has dreams with the shorty. And it's unlikely that he's gonna make them come true here. 5v5 situation, but Godlike definitely have the better weaponry in hand. The owl should reveal a lot of what's happening at Garage, so this drone is gonna find a fair amount of value. It spots out one. I think it also saw Jobs, if I'm not wrong. So they know that there are at least 2 players playing there. Dariot somehow finding that first pick. Gonna get traded out by Deathmaker, but Zoid's there to get the return trade. Hammond's fine too. Dariot finds another. On that time, gets a 1-tap. What the hell am I watching? A 2v1 situation, but Antidote's gonna find the first one. The Cypher is very weak, but so is Antidote. This fight needs to be defused though. This round is gonna go the way of Godlike. Antidote gonna peek out, gonna put a bullet in his chest. Get that round under their belt. My goodness. Tempest also almost managed to make that look really, really good.
Yeah, and that was almost in their bag as well, right? And the spike wasn't really planted for where Antidote was. He's gonna have to be quite wide in order to go there. And if he was just... If the Cypher was just a little bit healthy, I think he could have won the duel against Antidote as well. Luckily, Antidote had the time in his favor, so he didn't have to do too much. But hey, a very successful retake by Tempest. Though they don't get the round, but I feel like they have what it takes to challenge Godlike, especially in a round like this where Tempest have the better weaponry. Did
Okay.
Antidote not by this time? He's got armor, but he doesn't have any weapons.
I'm not too sure what's going on.
Yeah, he's just probably gonna use his Blade Storm and no other weapons to go along with it.
Yeah, interesting choice of smokes, by the way. I do believe that was Godlike themselves smoking out C main for some reason. They can have side control for now, but the retake should come through. Kubrick's a little bit off with the shock dart there. And the Maker of Death holding this corner for the time being. Darexot trying to open things up with the help of his Cyber Cage. Gonna pop it. Kubrick says drone should reveal at least one player, and you can see Zoid spamming through. In fact, he's gonna tag up the Astro quite heavily here. Wait, no, that's actually Tempest. Jobs gonna go forward, find Hewan. Antidote was able to find 2 with them with the knives, but he's still healthy and has picked up the Vandal for himself. Jobs. Let's see what he decides to do over here. For now, is happy that he secured this Vandal, and AZ also just looking for exit tracks. So they've conceded, they've given up this round, letting it go to the side of Godlike Esports. AZ!
Wow.
Oh, man. It was actually a bit of a hard shot to connect, but yeah, Jobs trying to take this fight is gonna lose. Zoid finds Whitehorse though elsewhere on the map, so good for him. And he gets away with murder.
Yeah, so Godlike used that Nebula right at the start of C Long just so that they can sneak up a little bit. They don't want to risk getting shot down by an operator or maybe someone on Tempest getting a crisp one tap or something. They don't want that risk. And because the utility of Heaven recharges so quickly, because he can get those Nebulas online faster, they don't mind committing one of the biggest smokes. I mean, usually if, let's say you have an Omen or a Brimstone, putting down a Sky Smoke or Dark Cover on the C-Long corridor is a big investment because you can't get them back that easily. So
Yep.
people just usually use Cloud Burst, but the Nebula recharge is fast enough, so they don't mind doing it. They don't mind using it to get up close and personal into C main and then bursting out. That's what Godlike does, right? They usually
Yep.
try to sneak up as much as they can. And when the time is right, they burst out. But this time, the burst from Direct Start can be crucial. He's already trying to wrap around from Garage, and I hope they don't check him. But the C side will be more or less conceded. Tempest do get a couple of picks as Godlike tries to move in, but Shop's position over here can be perfect. The flash was also great from Zoid, but both of them could not do anything on the back of it.
Okay, and Deathmaker, feeling hungry, wants to lap up some kills, but Direct Shot puts him back in his place with that Sheriff one tap. Now, as the man in his hands, gonna pop the new theft and get instantly taken out by Antidote. A big gamble by him, one that he was confident taking, but Antidote shuts it down. That's something else that's gonna be working out in Godlike's favor. I'm gonna just go ahead and say it was a mistake by Direct Shot to try and do that. It was definitely doable, a 1v2, if that ult went off, but Antidote was well aware of that. Got that peek. Just like Darixot did.
Yeah, just the way Direxot did. Now the situation's more or less equalized, right? Both the teams have a decent amount of weaponry to work with, plenty of ultimates online on both the sides to run it back on both Deathmaker and Zoid. Chobs has the Blade Storm. Heaven has the Cosmic Divide, so that this could be the ultimate that actually changes the round, but Antidote spots out that Trapfire. He's gonna break it, but he's not keen on going ahead. His team is following him behind, but they have left Rex towards the C side and towards mid in case they want to go back or fake or something. They're gonna make some noise towards A and they start to head back. There's the first fake, but we know that sometimes Godlike like to double up. Will they go for it? They are asking for trouble if they look for double, but can they actually pull it off? The Nebula once again will let them sneak through. Recon Dart flying in the sky. Doesn't reveal anyone, but both the ultimates have been popped by the Phoenix. As did they just cancel each other out?
Yep, that's exactly what happened.
Is that possible? Shooting each other? Oh no, they haven't checked Ace's position. He gets only one. Luckily, Deathmaker saves this before it gets too expensive. Gonna put down that blaze wall as well so that he can plant safely, heal up a little, and nobody can shoot him down from Garage. And there it is, a 3v4 again. Heaven on the lurk to make sure nobody can pull off a little sneaky behind them. And he needs to start moving in towards his team now because they are on the assault. Deathmaker, great stuff by Kubrick's. He gets a triple! No way! And he can actually go for the defuse right now. Heaven is nowhere close enough, but Kubrick's is probably anticipating him to be on C long. As soon as Heaven peeks, he gets it! Kubrick stepping up time and again. He does it on Ascent, he does it on Haven, and he does it again and again. First round for Tempest, and it wouldn't be the last.
Bricks, what an absolute madman. I mean, when this guy turns it on, he really turns it on. A very important round going their way, and Tempest, because of this, Chops is actually going to be able to pick up the operator. I mean, that was they had no business, absolutely no business winning that round, but Kubrick's basically pulls it out of nowhere and makes life easier for himself.
He's turning it on. He's turning me on? Come on. That's insane. You didn't hear that.
Yeah,
Okay,
I didn't
no.
hear anything. Yeah, you didn't
Yeah,
say
every-
anything.
every-
Don't worry, it's gone. It's in the past. No one heard anything.
It's in the past, just like Antidote's head. Hold on. Antidote has been stepping up for his team quite a lot, like 11 kills in Antidote. They get rid of him. That's one of the star fraggers of the team dead. And they reveal the fact that Darixot had a judge. Oh, but no. White Horse, deep inside B, he can split this map in half. He could have bisected it. He gets taken down, but that's alright. He's done enough damage, and now all of Tempest will be really, really paranoid. Look at how much they are reluctant to rotate to the A side, even though most of Godlike is already threatened over here.
What
They
happened?
need to fight this
kill.
one.
Everyone's gonna find another, and they are gonna be able to pull it back somehow. From a 4v2 down to a 3v2. It's in their favor. Well, Deathmaker, the maker of death, has a flash ready. At the moment, just waiting for the right time to pop. The Cosmic Divide comes through though, so this is gonna buy them a lot of time, and Tempest might just make the hard call of saving their weaponry and just surviving the round.
Yeah, but in a 3v2, I don't see this happening for them. The Cosmic Divide is really gonna discourage them. I have to give credit to Whitehorse though. That guy getting inside B was the single biggest factor why Godlike is winning this round. You know why? Because it was a clear indication by Godlike that they're coming towards the A
Okay, I
side.
think we might have lost you there, Crips, for a second. I cannot hear you, but just gonna confirm with production once and make sure if it's not just me. But oh, okay, so this is my mic actually screwing up. It was my internet connection. Apologies, I'm back. But yeah, crucial win here once again from Godlike Esports. Just making sure that the momentum doesn't continue and pull that round back.
Yeah, so, like I was saying, because Whitehorse was able to get inside that B side, it delayed the rotation from Tempest so much. The two players who saved their guns were still on the C side while the A was under attack. And why would that happen? Because they were scared of Whitehorse and how many other players could be there. It was a clear indication that they were coming towards the A side, but there you go. Jobs will be able to equalize the situation back to a 4v4. Wins the op duel against him. But he's gonna deliver yet again, and this time on Heaven. Meanwhile, Zod has picked off Deathmaker. That was all the way towards the other side of the map. And now Godlike, they're losing players left, right, and center. The only option they haven't explored yet is the C side, and they're gonna try doing it now. Rexy here to defend. Oh my goodness! Whitehorse delivers once again. Zoid has been taken down. They should be able to plant the spike at the very least, but will they be able to go for the retake? I don't know. The Hunter's Fury will stop them from planting, buying them a little more time, but look at where Whitehorse is. Now I'm very excited. Whitehorse could be once again the monkey wrench that Tempest will not expect. They expect him to be dead. No! They do the recon, but he still gets the kill! No! No, Whitehorse! This was absolutely ridiculous. You were not supposed to get that. Oh my goodness. I am so furious he was able to pull that off.
Tempest, they're definitely not on the same page. If they communicated that, they would have double peeked it, but instead the Jet, confident that the Sova had her back. They don't find those kills. Whitehorse walks away with murder. He's gonna be put down though, but Rexy's there to avenge him. And that's gonna be the end of that. Godlike put another round on board, and that's all thanks to Whitehorse and mischievous brain of his.
Dude, Whitehorse is exactly not even mischievous. He's just a pest. He's so annoying. Like, Jesus, this is the second time in a row he's done that. First, delaying the rotation towards B in the previous round. Now, he gets in all the way towards the defender's spawn. Like, that's ridiculous. And first of all, kudos to Tempest for actually predicting that. Like, them putting down the recon dart over there, expecting him to, you know, be in one of those positions is crucial. Because otherwise, he would have gone unchecked, and he should have been able to, you know, go unchecked. That's not a position where you would usually expect your attackers to be in, but Tempest expecting that, kudos to them for, you know, anticipating, but unfortunately, even after having a little instinct that he might be over there, they couldn't win the duels against him. But man, what a good play from both Whitehorse and Kubrick's. Doesn't matter who wins the round, I am thoroughly impressed.
Yeah. Godlike Esports this time around playing it a lot more slow, so letting that doubt and fear creep into the heads of Tempest. Deathmaker though, I think he's gonna give away some sound over here. Gonna be the first point of contact for Godlike Esports. Those two smokes doing a lot of work for them though, and there's no one on the C side to defend. Tempest conceded it, and you'll see just how well that gambit will face off. Zoid's gonna go out there, put that sentry gun down, but there's still 5 players remaining alive on the side of Godlike Esports. And now with the help of that lockdown, I don't think this is a round that Tempest are going to be able to take back unless somehow they can take out that Killjoy. Oh, Darexot finds one! Almost found Deathmaker, but Deathmaker's going to survive for the time being. Hewan finds another. A 3v4 situation. Tempest can still make it happen, but they need to find these kills. But Godlike are shutting them down. Deathmaker is even going to get Zoid in the end. That's going to be the end of that. Man, cool round once again from Godlike Esports to just being able to take that, you know, just weighing things up time and time again and not really allowing the side of Tempest to predict what they're going to do next.
Yeah, that's true. That is indeed working in their favor. But what's more is that Godlike have been able to successfully defend the C side every time they get the spike down. No retakes for them whatsoever. The retakes were a little iffy when they went A, but never on C. They've always had it.
Yeah. I mean, great stuff from Godlike time and time again. But Tempest, somewhere they have to be thinking as to what they can do to sort of pull this half back, because this is going to be a throwaway round from them unless Chops can make something happen. And there you go. As soon as I start talking about throwaway rounds, it's almost as if Tempest, a different beast takes over. They find that first kill. Chops going to continue pressing the W key slowly but surely. But the Antidote is going to shut him down. And I think that's...
Oh no.
Oh, what? Cubic's going in, but I don't think they're gonna expect this. He's gonna find Antidote. That's the spike going down, and that's what Darixon finds another. What is going on? He's gonna get another kill. Eco rounds are when Tempest wake up, and you just spoke the beast, my friend.
Yeah, and you don't want to be in the belly of the beast right now. I love it when Tempest tries to push out on eco rounds. They have nothing to lose. They walk right in, they press W, and they don't even need to press mouse 1. All 4 of the players of Tempest converge upon Godlike, and that was a very good round. Like, they walk away with 4 guns, 4 players alive. That's a plunder. That's a pirate's treasure right there you find lying in the bottom of mid.
Man,
And
look
I
at the
love it.
economy.
Exactly. Not just the economy. I love the way how Chops kind of baited himself. Like, the first kill with the blade stomp, amazing. Good job. Antidote killed him, and he thought that was the end of it. But then came Kubrick's. He did not trade out Chops, which was kind of like baiting his team, which is a little frowned upon sometimes. But hey, this works for them this time.
Yeah. I mean, baiting works, you know. I mean, Kubrick didn't really bait his teammate out as much as capitalize on his death, but
Yeah.
yeah, I wouldn't be
That's a
too mad if that happened in my game.
That's this vocabulary to justify your baiting, Floki. Come on. Be a better teammate.
Yeah, well,
Oh, no!
he's gonna find Deathmaker. Deathmaker tried to be a little bit cheeky, but he's gonna be spotted out here. And a 5-4 once again for Easy. As soon as they win that eco round, a different beast takes over. Zoid's gonna find someone else. It's Antidote elsewhere towards the A-shot area. And now a 3v5 situation for Godlike Esports. Have the Hunter's Fury to work with, but Rexy gonna need some sort of tag or some sort of information to put that to good use. They're gonna start walking up B. This could be a little bit problematic, but Darixon's waiting. Try and go forward. He's gonna find that first kill. The neural temp's gonna go through. Just make sure that the side of Godlike Esports have absolutely no chances in this round. But Rexy finding two, creating openings where there are none. AZ though manages to pull it back, and Hevan is gonna be taken down at the end. Zoid finds him with just a little bit of HP, and Chops, of course, with that operator, gonna be taking it to the next round as well. Man, it's just they needed an eco round. They needed an eco round win, and then Tempest can just get the ball rolling again. Game in their favor. Sounds an eco for Godlike, so they probably win this one. The next round's gonna be the decider as to whether it becomes an 8-4 half or a 7-5 half.
Yeah, and Godlike have very little money left. They have 2 Vandals on Rexy and Whitehorse, probably just leaving barely enough in the bank so that they can buy weapons in the next round as well, and everyone else just picking up sheriffs. That eco round not only got Tempest the next, but also broke the Camel's back. It broke Godlike's economy instead, and now they are very much on their way to win a 7-4 round, unless Godlike pull off an eco of their own.
Yep, easy. Oh my god, what a neat peek by Rexy. Straight up execution here, but now Darixon coming in. Deathmaker, can he find that one down? Oh my god, he does. Jobs though, answering back with the big operator. Finds one, but gets taken out by Rexy, who's pushed in far. Deathmaker is going to be able to trade out Zoid's first body and make sure he cannot really push through thanks to the help of the hot hands. But Antidote is sneaked in elsewhere in the meantime. You thought Tempest could do ecos? Well, Godlike, they can do those even better. I mean, Kubrick's, he's in a 1v5. This is somewhat doable over here, but he has to basically clear out every angle. He's going to find that first kill on Antidote with no life point spin. It's going to be imperative as he goes into this next 1v2. Deathmaker, a little bit off the timing there, but still, is going to find that second kill. Kubrick's with a shock touch, softening them up before he goes in for the kill. 7 bullets left. He finds the third one and pulls the round back. Tempest denying the eco win for Godlike Esports, and Godlike, well, they're not going to be too happy about that, but hey, they got a lot of kills. Good eco for them.
This could have been the 8th.
Yep.
This could have been denied. Usually
Last
White Horse
round
is the
in
guy
the
who
half.
lurks around, but this time Antidote came in a little late from the B side, and him getting those kills as the players of Tempest were trying to move into the C side, it kind of solidified the round even further for them. And this round was already looking pretty rock solid. Like, hey, it's a 1v3. Everyone on Godlike now has guns. And yeah, sure, Kubrick's, I mean, he's been clutching rounds for his team again and again, but a 1v3 does look kind of bad, right? I mean, I mentioned once that C side is the one side where Godlike can defend really easily in both one situations, and he pulls off a 1v3 clutch on C, proving it wrong. That's just amazing. Now a Cosmic Divide comes through. This will let Godlike move all the way deep into the C side and get the spike down without any problems. But now the retakes do look kind of questionable, don't they? If this was just one round ago, I would have said that the C retake from Godlike is absolutely impeccable, but now I'm not so sure. This 5v5 retake is going to be extremely, extremely messy, and once again, White Horse is on the lurk. He needs to reach here on time and help his teammates out.
Okay, they're gonna find that first kill, but Deathmaker answering back somehow. AZ is able to pull it back. Kubrick's looking to find anyone with the Hunter's Fury. He's not gonna be able to do much. AZ is gonna be taken down by Hewan as well. A 2v3 for Tempest. Not undoable, but definitely hard to do with Rexy. He has that Hunter's Fury up, and White Horse is gonna put him to rest. Kubrick's still alive. He's pulled out 1v3s before, but can he do it this time? Nope. White Horse shots him down. And the 7-5 half becomes an 8-4 half, and that's a big, big difference. I mean, Godlike Esports, just having that 8-4 half in their favor, are gonna feel so much more confident going into this one, even if they lose 3 in a row.
Yeah, could have been 9-3 as well if they didn't concede that 1v3 to Kubrick's, but hey man, credit where credit is due, and Kubrick's really has been winning my heart. I was convinced he has one of the best timings in the server, but now I'm also convinced he has one of the best clutch potentials. 8-4 with Godlike on defense, it does look kind of good. Godlike do have really solid defense, and especially with the way they keep switching things up, Tempest is going to have a really hard time figuring out the defensive setup of Godlike. And look at this is exactly what I was concerned about. They've left the B side completely wide open. They don't even care, they don't even want it. And that's because Godlike are trying to push a shot instead. They played this they played this part of the map very aggressively, but footsteps on Garage, and Hewan's gonna relay the information to his team. Poor White Horse has been trapped over here. He can't even fall back. They lose map control and they lose the man advantage. Yeah, you don't often get 2 bites of the cherry, but this time Tempest do, and they've spotted the lurker in the form of Antidote as well.
Man, Deathmaker, he's gonna find Zoid, but he's paid for it heavily. Down just to 10 HP. Will heal himself back up with the hot hands, but still 2 bullets to his chest and he's toast. Elsewhere, Tarek are just holding on. Tempest still very much have the round under control here, but Rexy finding that kill might just open things up. Antidote are gonna be shut down. Deathmaker, Rexy finding one. He's gonna get the last one as well. Tempest, a 4v3 becomes a win for Godlike. That's absurd. I mean, Deathmaker and Rexy, their timings. We were just speaking about how Kubrick's has probably the best timing on that Sova, but I guess Deathmaker and Rexy did one better.
Yeah. Rexy making sure that Kubrick's isn't the only Sova in the server who's got competition. He put up one more round, and him stepping up for his team, it is so good. Now they've got the pistol round, a round that Tempest desperately needed. That's gonna give Godlike the momentum to reach double digits.
Yeah, I mean, time and time again, every single time when I see this, it just boggles my mind as to how the side of Godlike are able to do this. I mean, they had no business, absolutely none, winning that round. But Zoid being picked up at the start over here, they will find one kill, Godlike, and they find another one as well. Jobs make something happen, but was traded off. Godlike Esports gonna play the patience game because the side of Tempest have post. Kubrick's will find one though. He's gonna make it an even Steve with 3v3. The plant's gonna go down. Direct shot, popping that cage for the time being. And there you go. Godlike trying to come back and retake over here. Rexy goes for one, spots out direct shot as well, and Godlike somehow pull it back. Rexy and Antidote just too good for the side of Tempest.
You failed.
Yeah, Rexy really stepping up in this half. And It's surprising. A lot of his skills have come through in the second half itself. Like, he was in single digits 2 rounds ago. Now he's on 13, almost caught up with Antidote, who has been like top fracking for his team right since the first half.
Yeah.
Antidote had like what 11 something kills 6 rounds into the game, and since then he's only gone up to 14. Rexy on the other hand has stepped up massively for his team, so that's amazing. 10-4. Tempest still not having a decent buy. Can Godlike actually push this to 11? If they do, this will be very problematic. This is too big of a lead.
It most certainly is, and I think it's about to get even bigger. Tempest, they've been known to win these eco rounds, but this one might just be too big to ask for. Deathmaker, feeling confident as all heck, is actually going to push A. And that smoke is going to protect them for the time being, but Chop's going to be taken out. He actually finds Hewan, and Deathmaker gets static shot elsewhere in return, but still a 4v4 situation. The weapons definitely favoring the side of Godlike here, but Chops finds another towards C-Main, and that should open things up. They should be able to walk into the side because none of the killshot utilities up. The Spectre in his hands, still waiting for the push coming in from Antidote, but Antidote's patient is all heck. Deathmaker's gonna find another, make that a third as AZ goes down as well. And that's a spike dropping towards mid.
Yeah, that spike dropping is a big problem. They knew that Deathmaker can push up actually, and they should have been somewhat prepared about it, but then they were just too busy dealing with the B breach. They forgot that mid window exists and they could get backstabbed with it.
One enemy
And
remaining.
Antidote's position is even cheeky, and all these cheeky plays getting Godlike the round once again.
Man,
Yeah, that's the
sorry,
end of
pretty
Zoid.
boy.
I mean, Tempest have been pretty good in winning eco rounds in Ascend in the first half of Haven as well, but now it just seems like they've got the air snatched out of their balloon.
I mean, and their lungs. I mean, have to say,
And their
Godlike,
lungs too, yeah.
the side of Godlike, they've been very, very on point coming into Haven. I feel like they sort of realized that they were making a fair amount of mistakes against Tempest. Not to take anything away from them, they definitely had some really interesting rounds, but there were times where Godlike looked a bit flabbergasted, and this time around they have corrected for that. So they're not really overplaying the hand. They're just being quite careful. I mean, maybe you can say that Deathmaker's push towards A main was a little bit cheeky, and I'd agree with you, but he had a teammate backing him up, so at worst it would have been a trade, and that still goes in the favor of the attacking side.
Yeah. Yeah, Godlike being very, very disciplined right now. Just telling us exactly what it means to be a top tier team, and Deathmaker just delivers again and again and again. This is, I don't even know how many times he's won a duel against Darkzod, but this is definitely heartbreaking. And Darkzod 2 was pushing up without any backup, so Deathmaker can't even get traded out. But this time, Deathmaker's pushing out without any backup, and this could be concerning. Yes, it is. They bring it back, 4v4, right back committed, and they're gonna hightail their way towards the A side. Antidote denies the body, and he's gonna get away with it. Falls back to safety as well through the Nebula. And I don't think they will mind giving up the site to Tempest. They can go for the retake, and they know that. They've got the Hunter's Fury as well to clear out the most obvious angles. Shock darts exchanged on both the sides, and none of them will deal too much damage, but this 4v4 can get messy. I'm just waiting to see if Rexy will commit his Hunter's Fury in this round. I'm pretty sure he will, but where and how? And he's going to use it to clear out the angles. Not finding under the... This might just happen. He might just get a complete shot. And while that happens, Chops tries to take matters into his hands, pushes right outside, and he tries to kill them before Godlike can even enter the side. He knew that a couple of people will be defending Rexy at the very least, so this is his only chance of making the round work for his team by pushing them instead. Instead of just, you know, holding angles and hoping that the crossfires will not be broken open by Godlike.
I have to say, Rexy, very, very systematic with the Sword. Always clears out every single angle, but Jobs just did so much work in that one. You can see that Kubrick's went forward and took that fight, and the Jet actually picked up 2 more after that initial pick with the Frenzy. So, great stuff by Jobs over here, redeeming himself sort of in the second half. But Tempest, the climb is long and arduous. It's not going to be any easy as Antidote finds Kubrick's.
Long and arduous, and the hill just keeps on getting steeper and steeper. Deathmaker wants to just choke them.
Yeah,
Taking away all the breathing room. And he might just get picked off. No, of course he's not going to get picked off. Third time he wins the duel against Darkzod, and this is just heartbreaking at this point.
Yeah, Deathmaker. I mean, getting that pick, very, very crucial. If he somehow loses that opens things up towards the A side because he's pretty much the only person there. But Antidote delivers once again by
Last
taking
player
out Zoid and
standing.
Tempest. Slowly but surely, the clock is closing around them. They can feel it. Jobs, he's gonna fight back for now, but he still has 4 more people to contend with, and that's not gonna be easy. He finds a dink on one, finds a second one, but Rexy puts him out of his misery.
Not much that you can do when you've taken a bullet to the
Match
head
point.
already. And great stuff by Deathmaker. He's just putting so much pressure. The fact that he's winning duels is like a cherry on top of the cake. That's an extra added bonus. But the fact that they're just so scared of him pushing out either A long or A sewers every time, forcing Darexot to be present over there. And Darexot has not been winning his duels against Deathmaker. I mean, nothing against him, but maybe they can try putting someone else over there.
Yeah,
Because
Another-
this is like the third, fourth something time he's won this. I don't even know. I've lost track.
yeah. I mean, it's just a huge mental victory, right, for the side of God.
Yeah.
Like, they always, you know, if Tempest is always worried about the backstab, then they're just not gonna have that extra player helping out that second push that's happening. For the time being, though, Godlike have found one conceded control of B, but the man advantage in their favor should allow them to make wonders happen. Deathmaker has an operator in his hands of all things. Rexy goes forward, he's like, okay, you do
My
your best,
God.
Jet impression. I'm gonna lap up all the kills for myself. It flashes Rexy, but
Defenders
Haywan
win.
is gonna be there to clutch it out. And Tempest, I mean, they didn't look so good on Haven, but they definitely tried. They had some good rounds too. I mean,
Yeah.
I remember that almost sick clutch by Darexot and that sick clutch by Kubrix, but after losing that game, well, it seems like they just didn't mentally recover.
I love this thing by Godlike. They play for two things, either map control or man advantage. And you can see from the movement of Antidote that whenever he feels too pressured, whenever he feels like, oh my god, there's too many people on me, I'm gonna die, he does not hesitate falling back. He gives up control of the site, but hey, at least that lets them retain the man advantage, right? So they're not losing the man advantage and the site at the same time.
Yeah.
They retain at least one of them. And that's, I think, one of the best things about Godlike in a lot of these top tier teams. Whenever they feel a lot of pressure, they do not hesitate falling back. And that's a mistake that many people make, especially many people in Tempest. They feel like they're Spartans, right? Falling back is dishonor. That's what they feel. Hey, there's nothing wrong in falling back if you think it's going to give you a tactical advantage.
Yeah, most certainly. But let's look at the highlights and see exactly what went wrong for Tempest over here. Godlike putting up a great performance on Haven as they're known for, but at the same time, Tempest, somewhere you have to be feeling a little bit upset that, you know, after losing that first round so closely, you kind of just got steamrolled on Haven. Maybe it's a map that they don't practice, but if that's the case, then perhaps their map pool needs to be widened a little bit more so they can have an even chance against some of these better teams here. I mean, not gonna lie, Ascent almost looked like they had it in their back pocket,
I
but
swear.
Godlike just, I mean, not to be too crass, but they just pulled it out of nowhere. They just pulled it out of their behinds. They're like, you know what, we're gonna take this to overtime and we're gonna win it. And this is the attempt that I was talking about. No, not this one, the next one, I think, by Darexot, where he got that sick sheriff kill. He had a Spectre in his hands, but yeah, regardless. Tempest, I mean, I have to say, you know, they're looking a lot better than the last time I saw them. They're not really falling back on silly strats. They're not you know, just buying 4 judges and hoping for the best. I mean, these are definitely not the maps for it either, but still, the way they played Ascent looked very, very solid. I just hope for their sake that, you know, if anything, if there's anywhere that they should kind of nitpick, I actually think they should go all the way back towards Ascent and look at those first few rounds because they made some major mistakes there. Had they won those rounds, which clearly should have been theirs, I think we would be looking at a much different game now.
Yeah. I feel like Tempest still did a pretty good job in Ascent, and not just, you know, look at what mistakes you did, but also
Yep.
look at what was working for you. Because let's be honest, those
Absolutely.
were some really solid strats, and Godlike struggled quite a bit to figure out what to do, figure out how to counter it. And I mean, eventually it was countered, but hey, you did something right over there. So work on the strengths, work on the weaknesses, put them all together and make yourself invincible. I definitely don't think Tempest should be heartbroken from this loss. They
Yeah.
did really, really well. They gave Godlike a run for their money in both Ascent and in Haven. And sure, the scoreline will not indicate that. The scoreline will say that Godlike won won Haven with a pretty convincing scoreline, but we know how close those rounds were. They were balling down to 2v2, 1v1s. Yeah, Tempest did a pretty good job. So we'll talk more about what worked with him, what did not work with him on the analyst panel.
Hey guys, and welcome back. Now we're here with the analyst desk. Remember, you're watching the TEC Gauntlet Season 1, powered by WD Black and AMD Ryzen Radeon. That was a crazy match. Map number 1, we've got to talk about that as well. And congratulations to GODLIKE Esports for taking the win. Now, aggressive. What are your thoughts as a whole about that best of 3 between GODLIKE Esports and Tempest?
In my eyes, it was such a close call on map number 1. My heart was racing at one stage, being like, oh my god, is Tempest actually going to take away the map of Ascend that we kind of expected it to happen? But at the same time, it's godlike. You don't expect the underdogs to take it away in such a dominating fashion, but slowly but surely, it was the side of godlike having their consistency and having their experience, being able to claw their way back and get themselves that overtime win at the very end. And of course, map number 2, it's the playground of Deathmaker, so we kind of expected that to happen, to have much more of a dominant side towards the side of Godlike. So in my eyes, for a fast 2-0, not so fast, but at the same time, really fast as well.
All right. And, looking at how map number 1 went, Tempest, they were trying to get that win, but where exactly did they go wrong there? Because, momentum carries over and it's almost like, the momentum wasn't quite there for map number 2. So what are your thoughts on map number 1, especially about the performance coming out from both sides, especially Tempest? Yeah. Do go, Crips.
So, first of all, I would really like to appreciate the kind of stuff that Tempest brought to the table in Ascent. I feel like they have a decent amount of strats which are difficult to counter, which are difficult to predict, but eventually, if you keep repeating them, they will become predictable. Godlike was able to figure out what they were doing very late into the half, like probably when when the score was 7-3 or 7-4. That's when they figured it out, but they did it nonetheless. And That's what went wrong for Tempest as well. Like they had decent strats, but they didn't have enough of them. The playbook was not deep enough. There were not simply enough pages inside that book. Whereas for
Right.
Godlike, they have many variations of the same strat and then several more strats to go along with it. So they can keep on switching things up and they still would be playing on the same basic strat. And not to forget, they have different strategies entirely as well, and each time they can be tweaked by changing one thing or the other here over there. There's tiny little changes, and when you have such a deep, combination, permutation, and everything, you put all that together, and Godlike just seems like a much more refined team with a much deeper playbook. Whereas the truth is, they were just tweaking things here and there, which Tempest was not able to do. So at the end of the day, it becomes a war of
Hmm.
information. And Godlike were just misleading Tempest again and again. Tempest did that a bit in Ascent, but they just couldn't replicate the same performance later on in Ascent and for the majority of Haven.
All right. So now let's have a quick look at the group standings. The points are in. Godlike Esports, they're gonna get 2 points for themselves, and because not a single um map was secured from the side of Tempest, they're not gonna be able to get any. So looking here, there it is. Godlike Esports now with a total of 6 points. That puts them right up there because they've just played their third match, right? So the possible competitors to keep up with Godlike Esports is Global Esports and Force One Esports as well. Looking at the standings overall, Group A it is. What are you thinking here, Aggressive? How do you think the competition? What is the flow right now? Which are these teams we really got to look out for, and which are the teams that kind of have to just step it up a little bit more?
In my eyes, looking at the standings, we kind of like expected this, the top three spots to be taken over by Godlike Global and Force One. But at the very end of it all, I am very impressed with the performance coming out from the side of Team Valor. Considering how Team Valor are when it comes down to their consistencies, I didn't really expect them to be so proficient in the way that they're able to take a lot of their wins down on the table. 2 out of 2 wins, 4 points on the board, very admirable, and they are able to do so beautifully as well. And with that first initial pickup coming on to their side, they should be able to keep that momentum rolling down forward as well. But at the same time, it feels as though Team Inazuma, every single time we see them, they can replicate a different level of strategy. They are coming in better and stronger every single time. So in my eyes, I'm really looking forward to see how Team Inazuma are going to be moving on down forward in their forward matchups, because in my eyes, they're the dark horse for this entire Group A.
All right, so we're going to have more matches to come as the days go by. But before we do close, I want to get your opinion here, Crips.
Mhm.
What do you think is going to be the move for Tempest moving forward? Because they still got matches to play. What do you think their new plan should or could be?
The new plan was to implement the old plan, but with a little bit of changes because they had some good stuff there. Something or the other was working for them, at least in the first few rounds of Ascent, so they should hold on to it. Plus, replicate whatever they were having in Haven, take that as well. Also, just fix the mistakes a little. So you take what's good, take what's bad, try to fix it, and just come out stronger. And of course, one of the main things that they need to do is build a deeper playbook, add more pages into it, because you can't keep repeating the same stuff over and over again. Yeah, sure, those strategies might just get you wins against team like Valor, Inazuma, and Simple, but yeah, teams like Global Esports and Godlike, they will read you really, really easily.
All right. And Aggressive for Godlike Esports, they took the win and so far they have gone unbeaten. So what is it that they have about them that X factor that they should keep to, and it would basically kind of guarantee their success in the gauntlet. What do you think that is for Godlike Esports?
The X Factor, like I don't think like the team of God like really have an X Factor. Every single one of their players are God gifted when it comes down to what they do. They're very talented in the way that they take a lot of their engagements. They understand how to coordinate together as a team. And I'm really hoping that Godlike are able to keep up that coordination and try and stick to things that are much more, let's say, conventional, because we have seen that whenever Godlike tries to go for something really crazy and wacky, their team tends to fall apart. So I'm really hoping to see that they stick to their guns. They say to things that are true to their nature and true to what they do best. Just frag out of their minds, set each other up beautifully for their plays. And of course, Deathmaker, just let him do what he does best, frag out of his mind and give everyone free haircuts.
All right, congratulations once again to Godlike Esports for taking that win. And we have come to the end of the second half. We would like to thank everyone for joining us. Remember to like and subscribe, hit that bell icon so you get notifications whenever we are live. Check out the links in the description. You don't want to miss out on those. And this was the TEC Gauntlet Season 1 powered by WD Black and AMD Ryzen Radeon that you were watching. We hope to see you guys tomorrow as well. We still have a lot of matches to go through with. This is only the beginning and it's only going to get crazier. So until then, good night, take care, everybody, and happy gaming.
One, two, three, let's go.